The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. On the top of the circuit, so that is where most guys are going to be rim riding. We did talk to admin about what it's going to be like getting around this place and trying to pass, and they said it's basically going to be dive bomb slide job city, and that's fun to watch, but it's also going to be risky from the driver's seat to have to make those decisions on when to make that move, but we'll see what does happen. We do have our point standings to go over after Bristol, after 4 races, and you could see we have a very, very tight ball game on the top of the board with Seminario, Ippolito, and Levine up there 1, 2, 3. And then we have a gap going back towards the rest. RJ Root in 4th. He's been in contention many races. Joseph Causey, Travis okay, I made a typo. Kremborg, not Board. Andrew Kotzka, Cody Richardson, Bobby Anderson, and then Tanner Marty back. And there is another dynamic to these standings that I haven't really got into yet. And I probably should have, but I'm going to explain it to you on the fly, Bradley, because I don't think I've even told you about this. This Spartan SimRacing League is broken up into groups. So over the course of the season, think of the entire schedule and then create little 3-race mini championships. And that's what this league is built on. So if you win a little 3-race mini championship, you get added into the playoffs, into the championship round. So on top of winning and getting your overall standings, you really want to prioritize those little 3-race mini groups and try to get that, because that will help you in your championship endeavors long term.
Yeah, when I first joined this league, I saw that the calendar was built on groups, and I kind of had to do a bit of digging, and when I figured out that they set up that groups, I personally really like that. I like that if you have a good few race streak and every driver is going to have a setup of racing that appeals to them. You know, for some of these drivers, short track racing is going to be it. For some of these drivers, this week and next week are going to be amazing because it's very out there, off the wall tracks that we're running. For some of them, more traditional tracks are going to work, like our next group. So it gives everyone kind of a more a more equal chance, and it means if you have like a bad week or there's just a week you can't participate, you're not going to find yourself that far off and that far out of the chance for trying to run into the end in the championship. So I kind of really like it. I'm going to be real honest with you.
Yeah, it is something that my favorite part of the system is personally the fact that the championship is not fully consolidated into one event, and I really haven't found anybody except Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps that think that it's a good idea. There's so many variances that happen in the real world. You know, if you watched last season, Christopher Bell, fast all season, really good at Phoenix, and he had a brake system failure, and that was completely out of his control, and that was his championship. There's so many things. You're on the iRacing service, you know, you may have a USB failure, you may have a connectivity issue that you never have, and to have that one race negate your championship definitely is, you know, it's kind of not fair. So having another race or two to be able to even that out is certainly something that I think a lot of leagues in the real world should take heed of.
Yeah, and I mean, if you consider, you know, the money and the time these guys put into the series, I definitely think it makes sense, because, you know, they have to pay licensing fees to get into this series and make sure that they're running. Like, this is not just something you join and do for fun. You've got to be committed to this. And, you know, if one of these drivers loses out on a championship because, you know, in the semifinal race, their, you know, wheel stops working, or hey, the guy outside that was trying to plant a garden decided to dig into the fiber optic line and cut off internet for everyone. You know, that's heartbreaking. That's frustrating. But breaking it down to into that 7 group race, sets of 3, it makes sense to me. Personally, it makes sense to me. Some people may say, we don't like it, but to those people, I can say, find your own league. Well,
I was just going to say on that, kind of in that same vein, and this is something we dealt with in our other league there, Bradley, is you're never going to please everybody, so don't try. Please yourself and take advice, and if that advice gets, you know, some negative Nancy's on it, so be it. You're not going to please everybody, but I'm just kind of looking on the overall the overall stat database that we have. RJ Root did win the first group. I don't know why words are hard for me to come by here today. I wasn't able to make my nighttime coffee, so I'm on a nighttime Pepsi right now, and that doesn't have the same level of caffeine, so we're going to hope that it gives me enough muster through. But RJ Root led that first one down here. We are in warm-up, and our overlays don't tend to like warm-up, so that's why I'm not showing that. But in terms of who's fastest right now, it is actually Joseph Causey. So with Travis Cranborg, Johan in third, and it looks like our top drivers, our top 4, are all within about 1/10 of a second of each other. The overall top to bottom, about 7/10 of a second between the field, at least in the warm-up thus far.
Who are we expecting to win overall here? Who are you putting your money on tonight for this? What is this, 250 laps around Lucas Oil?
Well, I'm just looking at who we have, and I don't actually see our points leader, Justin Levine, here, so clearly not him. I am waiting for the breakout race from Johan Seminario. You know, I've been roasting him in chat in just a fun way. I've known him for years within the series, and he's still looking for that win. If honestly, he's still looking for his first podium, so I would not put him out to pasture. You got Matthew Long, who I've covered him last season and 2 seasons in the 100% Cup Series. He was one that could snake out a win, but also you have the 2 Aussies. You have Neil and Andrew there. So if you put, you know, my DraftKings bet on the line, I'm going to throw my preliminary money on, I'm going to put it on Johan, number 56, boy.
Okay.
Now I need to make a graphic for this going forth of our picks for the race. So thank you for giving me more work here, Bradley.
Listen, it's what I'm here for, okay? My job is to make your life a little more difficult. It happens, okay? I am going to go ahead and call it Ty Ippolito. Let's say Ty Ippolito, just for fun.
And I remember there was an interview by Christopher Bell after Phoenix, and he said, Bob Paracas, did you pick me? Because every time you pick me, I don't win. So now they're going to hate us afterwards because commentators curse. The one person we didn't pick is number 37 because we have cursed him immensely, not just this season, but in prior seasons. So hopefully that has concluded itself. Let's see if he has that still on his car. Well, he's not in the world right now, but he soon will be. But on the top left of your screen, you can see that the timer for warm-up concluding. So these guys will be heading down to the grid, and we'll go ahead and give it to you. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTRTV. If it's your first time, don't make it your last. Hit that like and subscribe button on our trek to 1,300 subscribers. Need your help to get us there. But let's go down and give you that starting lineup, Bradley, and I'll give you the top half of it. Let's go ahead and roll them off here tonight from IRP.
Yeah, looking at our starting lineup here, it's Andrew Dyson on pole with Mr. Reese Schaefer in second place.
And I apologize, Andrew. I'll get an Aussie flag up there next week.
I was going to ask. Neil Pearson in third place. Cody Richardson in fourth here. Second row. Third row, Travis Krimborg with Johan Seminario. Mr. Corey's pick here for the night. Ty Ippolito in P7 with Dave Fugue in P8. The boss man starts it off 8th place. Joseph Causey in P9 with P10 being Brandon Edstrom here.
No, I'll tell this after the grid. 11th, we have Ben Stevens with our commentator's curse, Kevin Zosiak in 12th, Corey Harville in 13th, and Tanner Marty in 14th. I'm laughing, and you'll know why in a second there, Bradley. Scott Schroeder in 15th. I think we can omit the R from what I've been told. Matt Long in 16th, Andrew Kotska in 17th, and we have Jason Kratke at 18th. Thomas Kalmacheski, it's as a CH, it's Kalmacheski, and then Chad Gunningsman. And just rounding out our last couple, we got Casey Ryback, Jordan Sailors, 23rd and 24th is Justin Levine. He did make it. I don't know why I didn't see him earlier. I guess that still won't change my winning pick, though. And then Chad Sanner will be shotgun on the field. And I bet you want to know why I was laughing.
Yeah, what was it? I need to
So
know.
there was a post saying if you don't have your driver photo or your driver information populated, that you were going to get penalized. They really want, we do the personalization aspects here, and they want. Dave was really pushing it, and unless it's a faux pas on my behalf, Dave doesn't have a picture. So the guy that was
dang.
So he was roasting everyone to get a picture up, and unless, I will give benefit of the doubt. Maybe I screwed it up. It's very possible that I screwed it up, but it's just very funny that of all people that didn't have it there, it was him. So. But that being said, is what it is. Not a huge deal, but it's kind of funny nonetheless. But the pace car will pull into the pit road here, the safety of the pit road here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park at IRP. Andrew Dyson in the number 41 to the inside with Reese Schaefer to the outside. And let's go racing for 250 laps of short track action. Barney has the flag in hand. He's waving it, and let's go racing here from IRP.
Yeah, we're underway here with the Master Series in this Spartan SimRacing League, and it is that number 41 that is away very, very quickly there. Andrew Dyson just takes off, goes on, says bye-bye, see you very much, and he's just going to look away. There in P2 and P3, it's Neil Pearson and Reese Schaefer running second and third, trying to battle each other, and you can see everybody's trying to get single file behind, but these two holding side by side. I'm curious to see what the side-by-side action brings us. That top line doesn't seem like it's given enough to really let guys go on, and there we go, back into single file. He's going to try to peek the inside this time as we round it out. We'll be starting lap 3. Laps are going to move quick here, so everybody grab some popcorn and keep tabs because this is going to go fast.
It will go fast. Roughly an hour and 40 minutes if we go green. So this actually, it'll go fast, but it's also one of the longer races of the season duration-wise. So, Causey and who was that? Cody Richardson. A little contact there off 2. Opens the door for Ty Ippolito down the inside, and these guys will have to force their way through on the inside lane. Again, because of that lack of banking down there, the outside's going to have that momentum, that roll speed, as Cody Richardson will hit the fence there, and they may meet again off exit. But again, Ty Ippolito having to fight the inside. And my fear with this, Bradley, is when you have to roll the inside over and over and over, you're going to make those tires big mad and wear them out faster.
Yeah, but one of the things I will say about Cody Richardson should be a driver that knows how to build
Caution
setups.
flag.
What caused this one?
Chad Gunningsman having some issues of sorts, and we will dissect said issues here. He is to the inside of the 54 of Jason Kratke, and he had connectivity issues, and I mean, connectivity issues wouldn't cause you to spin, but evidently they did. Or I don't know exactly what happened, but either way, he is under the cautions right now. And again, so what I'm doing right now is I am multitasking. Dave sent me a list of every single driver in the league, their information, and their face shot. He did not add himself to that list.
Ah, that's
so
the case. He was too busy.
A, he expected me to have it from last season, which I didn't. I had a new folder of files. I edited them, and then I deleted the old files, and I put all the new ones in. So, does Dave penalize himself 10 points? This is the million-dollar question.
I think this is a case of admin found themselves a little too busy to remember to put themselves in there. They wanted to make sure everybody else did it and got their photos and their stats and everything in right, and then admin just kind of had a brain fart.
So Dave is league owner. We do want to make sure that connotation is known, because there are two race officials tonight in the form of Jeffrey Souza, who I have worked with on the channel. He was actually a fellow commentator in the series. In League Pass and Channel Pass, and then Adam Glatfelter, I believe he runs the truck series, but he is so those guys are in command of tonight's efforts, and then Dave is strictly a driver. He has no powers in this race beyond what any other driver would.
I do like that, though. I like that he's the owner of the league, but he's separated in this instance as just a driver, and just says, you know what, in the Masters, I just drive. I don't worry about anything else. I just drive in a race. I like that.
Is that where there could be? Oh, go ahead.
Andrew Dyson just tapped the wall, texting and driving under caution, perhaps.
Maybe he's out of Vegemite, and he's having to order some new one. And I don't know what Amazon Prime is, but to Australia. And now these cautions. Now, if you remember, wait, it wasn't you. I'm trying to remember. No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was the truck series. It was a truck series race a few weeks ago. And the cautions actually relegated into the race distance, and the race didn't actually make the timer. So they were shortening the cautions manually, which is not the case here. But this is a crazy long caution flag. I think we're on like almost 4 or 5 laps at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you why this caution's so long. It's not like we have to worry about scraping up car parts or anything, so I don't know what's going on. If this is possibly like a small iRacing bug that we're seeing, or
some
if
tracks are just
something happening.
Some tracks just have long caution periods for inexplicable reasons, but either way, one to go being the case. We did have Kratky and Scott Schroeder did come into the pits for a top-off, presumably, about 5 seconds of fuel. So remember, we do have the fuel limit at about 60%. So if you ask me what the fuel run is here, I'm just going to make up a number because I have absolutely no idea. My guess is going to be 90 laps, but absolutely no idea. But they did top off for whatever that may give them benefit of. But let's try that restart for the first time here on the evening. 1 to green off of turn number 4 into the Geico restart zone, and let's try that again.
And if the first time wasn't the best for you, the second time for Andrew Dyson, it's even better there. So we see he goes through, Neil Pearson, Reese Schaefer there, also settling in single file. Lots of drivers deciding single file is the way to go early on. I saw the 92 get a bit swirly there back in the background, and we already have our second caution. Cautions breed cautions, Corey.
Yes, they do. And who did you say that was? I missed the trigger on that one.
I saw Corey Harville just off in the corner of the screen, but of course, I don't know who it is, but I do see it looks like Travis Krenborg, Jason Kratky falling back a little bit, possibly one of them. I'm not sure.
Let's try to sort out something here. We're just going to go in the back of the pack and follow somebody. I think this is Krenborg, actually. Something happened. Who is that? That is the number. Is that a 24? That's not a 24. Is that a 70? That's Brandon Edstrom. That 24 looks like that 74 looks like a 24. So now we have a better dictation of what happened. They're 3 abreast off the corner. That's Cody Richardson there. 47 getting involved. These next-gen tanks should be all right. XL, just as I say that, paper mache bumper falls off. But that was a situation of you're 3 wide on a short track, and he just couldn't hold that car down there, which I don't think anybody would expect him to be able to without severely slowing down. So, but unfortunately, the wreck would have to be put on Edstrom there in my non-race admin hat.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because the issue is Edstrom is the one that slid up. So really, if you're there and you're 3 wide, you've got to hold that bottom line regardless of what you have to do. Slow down, tap the brake, whatever it's going to be. You've got to stay on that inside line and give room to the middle and the top line. And unfortunately, Edstrom didn't. And so you have to drop thought on Edstrom. And now we're under caution number 2 here. Lap 14 of 250. And Corey, what's the over-under on cautions? How many are we expecting tonight?
Oh, wait, what do we got going on here, first of all? Johan and Reese Schaefer, they're not giving, are they giving each other a virtual hug? I'm going to go on a big assertion and say that's probably not the case.
No, race car drivers don't give hugs.
They rip off their bumpers and throw them at each other, if not to spoil any events that happened today.
Oh boy.
Did you see that?
Can you imagine if you could do that in iRacing? I need iRacing to add that for April Fools.
Yeah, just have there be a press triangle exit the car button. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. And oh yeah, to what your question was, caution count. So we're already at 2. So worth also noting, because we just failed immensely at our pre-race show, our stage break is going to be at 100, and we do have 4 sets of Goodyears available in the pits here tonight. So we're on caution 2. We know we have another one, so that's 3. I'm just going to pick a nice solid number. I'm going to say 10, and I think that's going to be high, but...
Oh, I'm hoping not 10. Well, I hope not 10.
The thing with these kind of races, and I'm just going, based on the field, the car count we have, eventually, if you get, I think, 20 laps in, there will be enough separation and spreading out that I think we'll get ourselves a run in. That's typically what happens. Hell, even at Martinsville, you'll see a 100-lap run there at least once a race, usually. So hopefully that's high, but it very well may not be. We will find out. But Barney's going to get a workout here. He's going to need some protein powder and maybe a masseuse after the race. But he has the flag in hand, and he's going to wave it once more, and the 2 Aussie boys will get us restarted.
Ironic that the Aussies are in the lead here. Andrew Dyson gets away well. Neil Pearson will find it there. Reese Schaefer right on the inside. Thought about a move and slips into P3 there. Very nice and clean. There's still 2x2 in the background. That's somebody dropping really low. Who is that decided to drop on the low line?
I think that may have been
number
Dave.
88 of Joseph Causey, I believe.
All right, you got Dave there in the 44 car in the 7th spot as well. He's right behind Ty Ippolito with the 2 billboard cars there. That's 78 of Benjamin Stevens. He is down on the inside of Dave here, and Dave he's a smart racer. I wouldn't expect him to fight too hard. He's usually someone that maybe 10 is a little low.
Oh, and the 46 is
we ain't done.
Why? Pet peeve of mine, Corey.
Wrecking after the wreck.
Yes, you see the car spin, the caution comes out, slow your butt down until you figure out what's going on.
Now,
solo spin, nothing bad. I mean, taps.
Yeah, that was about, I don't know, that was about like 10, maybe almost pushing 10 seconds after the initial wreck, so that was a bit perplexing.
Let's add we need a stopwatch timer overlay as well, that we can, as soon as something starts, we can hit it and time how long here we go. You've got room. You see him sitting there. Why? Who is that hit him?
That was Casey Ryback. The
Casey Ryback.
11
why?
Car.
Give me. Why, my friend? Why?
Now you know that I get. I'm one to lose my temper early, but we are only on lap 20. But we are on lap. Think of happy thoughts. Think of, You know, think of...
We've switched roles this week.
Think of $1 Dave singles at Wendy's on the app. You know,
Wait, is that a thing right now?
The entire month of March, Dave's singles have been $1 and Dave's doubles have been $2. So you should still have ability, but they've been live the whole month.
That tells you how little I eat at Wendy's, and that I did not know that.
I mean, it's not my favorite, but for a $6 burger to cost me $1, I mean, not going to complain about that. Use your points and redeem that. Get some free fries. If you have the points, then, you know, bring a drink from home. You got a $1 and some odd cent meal after tax.
You know, I don't know anywhere you can really spend $1 and get a decent meal either. Like, that's
Yeah, literally, no. The app is where it is. I mean, I have a little combo at McDonald's that I do. I get a free fry with a $2 purchase, and then I get a 6-piece nugget and a double cheeseburger, and then I end up getting a free large fry. Whole thing cost me $4 and change, and I bring a bottle of water from home. So you gotta be thrifty, and you gotta use the app. That is the ticket. If you're not using the app, you're wasting money.
See, I like that companies do all these fun deals on apps. I need iRacing to roll out some fun deals like that. Like, hey, use our UI and get this, because I always have to go to the website and do purchases, which they're trying to phase out. But they don't accept PayPal on the UI. They only accept PayPal on the website.
I thought I just used... Maybe I didn't. I know they didn't for a while. I thought they finally fixed that, but I guess evidently not.
It doesn't on my UI now. There might be an update. It might have just recently changed, but my UI will let me use Venmo. It won't let me use PayPal, though.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we digress, because if we are on 3 cautions in 20 laps, we are going to run out of filler material here tonight. So we got to save some of it for later. Maybe give us a divisive topic that's not politics in chat, and that'll be our topics later in the race. But the leader battle has not changed. It is still the 2 Aussies on the front row. Reese Schaefer, he started second. He's now relegated to 3rd. Joseph Causey, who is the fastest at practice. This track has a really bad lighting issue, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. There's no lights on the back straightaway, as you can see. And because of that, the cars get really, really dark off of the corner, and then they all light up here in the center of 3 and 4. It's really aggravating to me as a detail folk. But you guys don't care about that, so I digress. But let's try this once more. Again, Barney's going to have the strongest right hand in planet Earth after this race as he waves the flag once more.
Yeah, Barney's getting the hard work out today, but I'll tell you what, Andrew Dyson is still nailing those race starts. The 17 sliding up to the 62 here. Pearson, Schaefer, side by side as we go. It's 2 by 2 by 2. A little bit of wall taps there off the backstretch, 2. And as we go, it is still Pearson and Schaefer together. Who comes out ahead? Who knows? We're on board here. Look at the background behind. Look ahead. We're still single file, but that's the 88. Down on the low side of Joseph Causey, who is trying to find his way past your man, Johan Seminario. Taya Polito here, the second place driver in 2023 in the Champion Series, who is trying to find his way forward as best he can. Number 92 here is about to get passed on the outside, which is not something I thought I would say here on lap 25 of 250 tonight.
Well, that's actually the best way to pass is Neil Pearson is dropping like a rock, and that is because I have no idea. Did he get loose, or was it connectivity issues? I don't quite know, but I will. Oh, it was not connectivity issues. It was this.
Whee! How hard can the car snap off an exit? Well,
how did he save that car? He's just that daggum good right there. There's a sound effect that doesn't transmit to you, but I'll have to have you listen to it one of these days. You'll get my inside joke there. But coming on the back straightaway, you got Matthew Long. You got that is the 5 of Travis Krahenborg. Justin Levine in the 1 to the inside. And it is interesting to me that most drivers are running a mid-line. They're not running the fence, voluntarily. I'm watching Matt Long here in the number 28, and he has all the availability to go run up the fence, but he's choosing to stay kind of mid-track. That is of interest to me. Edstrom, remember, he spun out earlier. And here comes Scott Trevor. But this is what you're going to want to do is, because of that top banking, Bradley, you want to get to the outside. You want to pin the car. You want to pass into the lower lane, run them side by side, and as he runs lower on that flatter banking, he's going to bog down and you'll get right by it.
Yeah, I think the issue with the high side is if the car doesn't have the grip and doesn't set up, you're going to just find that wall, and you can already see all of the fun black marks along the wall, down the stretch, down the corners, of just guys that are just getting it slightly wrong, getting slightly wide, the car's washing out. And the issue with the low line is you've got to slow down so much. So that midline, it doesn't surprise me. Schaefer is trying. Andrew Dyson has the run off the restarts, but doesn't seem to have the pace to make it stick. And now we've gotten a bit of a run. And look at this. Schaefer's on the inside. He's trying to open up the door and really trying to find a move here to get Andrew Dyson going here. I mean, doggone. Joseph Kazi, you probably have the scariest seat in the house right now.
And the fear that I have, and again, this is back to a technical perspective, is you have to remember we are racing on a server farm that is out of the Boston region. And Neil Pearson is about, or rather Andrew Dyson and Neil Pearson for that matter, are about 5,000 miles away from that. So it is a little bit scarier racing in super close proximity to him. On a slower track, you'll get away with it a little bit easier. The prediction code has less of a struggle on slower race tracks, so it's not as bad here. But it's still a scary situation getting up that close because you just don't know how the sim is going to react once you get within inches of somebody who's that far away.
Yeah, because the thing is, if the sim wants to think the 17 is there on the corner, the sim will think Reese Schaefer is on the corner and just go ahead and hook Andrew Dyson around, and there's nothing Andrew Dyson or Reese Schaefer could do. And for those of you who are new to iRacing, or this might be your first time seeing this, that is called netcode, and it is just one of the blasted things we have to deal with.
And there's really no fix to it, because at the end of the day, the speed of light is the only thing that can fix it. Data can only transmit between two places so quickly. And because there's an inevitable lag time, iRacing essentially has to guess at what is going to happen. That's actually the only way this happens. The only way this battle that we see for the lead is happening is because iRacing is guessing that this is the data we have, and based on the data we have, we think this is going to happen. And as soon as that next set of data comes in, they correct it and say, all right, we got it right, or okay, we got it wrong. And when they get it wrong, that's what we see here. But somebody into the fence, that is Kalmacheski, I believe, that baby blue and white Team Watson car. Yes, it is. He was in the fence in 1 and 2. Neil Pearson, he's going to try to start his comeback tour here. Now he's going to try to get by for the 12th spot. He's probably going to have to send it on in there. He'll do just that, and he'll pull a little mini slider off, clear him, and Kalmacheski will give it to him.
Again, that's the issue with the high line for me, and it's kind of highlighted there, is if you get the high line wrong one time, little tap of the wall, you can drop 4 or 5 places out of nowhere, and there's not a lot you can really do about it other than just kind of ride the wave and hope that you don't lose control of your car and sit back. Further up the field, though, Reese Schaefer now feeling the pressure from Johan Seminario, that number 56 up the inside here. Can he make it stick? Can the 17 make the high line work? The 56 is going to slot it in there. Johan Seminario will come across line P3 here.
Someone on the fence there. That was Ippolito just kind of kissing the concrete and or the edge of the safer barrier there off turn number 4. Corey Harville not close enough to take advantage of it. Benjamin Stevens there. And then you got Justin Levine. Now, Levine, remember, he started back in 23rd position, and he is already up to 9th. I mean, obviously he had 2 or 3 cautions to facilitate that, and a little bit of attrition and guys falling back, but on predominantly his own speed, he's got himself up to the top 10, and he has 2 spots right in front of him, but they will no longer be side by side. Harville will fall back in line, and that will only make Justin's life easier, because now he will set his full work on that Monster Energy Toyota.
Yeah, and the thing is, Justin Levine has a lot of pace. He's a driver we know is quick, and we just, kind of have to sit back and watch and just see who can hold him at bay. And that is a $1 million question that I will not answer because I don't have an answer to. But Justin Levine just seems to know what to do to make that car work. Can work the high line, can work the low line, can work the mid line, whatever it's going to take.
Battle for the lead.
When did Andrew Dyson...
caution just as we get a battle for the lead. Is it Mr. Gunningsman again? And the answer is yes.
What happened to Gunningsman here? Let me guess. The back breaks out in the mid-corner, and he goes right.
So the 45 of Sailors appeared to be slow, and I believe So we're going on board with Sailors here, and you can see Gunningsman is well back in the distance here. Big wiggle into the fence there. 46 of Richardson got some damage from that. And
why does he come down?
One more perspective again, focusing on Sailors. I almost wonder if he broke something when he had that contact, and then I think Gunningsman may have reacted, overly reacted to what he saw, and ultimately that self-spun him. That's my guess anyways. We'll see. But we do have pit stops. Neil Pearson, remember, he's on his comeback tour here, as you can see the ebbs and flows of the pit lane here, going all up and down. But this is the first strategy call from a driver that has some serious speed here on the evening, that number 62, taking his first of 4 sets of Goodyear tires here on the evening.
Yeah, 4 sets of Goodyear tires, and you're already taking the first set on lap 44 of 250. It's going to be a long, long night for you, friend. Cautions are going to help a little bit with that, but man, it's going to be a long one to run through here. Joseph Causey's still up front. Andrew Dyson there. Johan Seminario in P3.
Well, actually, let's not overshadow that. Causey, remember, he was battling with Dyson, and it gave him the lead. I didn't think I saw him have the lead, at least, you know, significantly, but scoring and timing loops, maybe a little bit of ping, I don't know, but it gave him the lead.
If he had it, it was just by seconds. It was just by a little bit. I mean,
yeah, it didn't look to me like he ever had position, but you know, we are not the live timing screen, so evidently it was the case. So kudos to him, our first on-track lead change of the race, and we'll see what he can do. Sometimes, you know, when you're driving behind someone for so long, you kind of lose your focal points when you get out front, and you know, now he's going to have to get used to clean air, which sounds easy, but he's been focused on that number 41 that he might be, you know, he has to catch his own bearings now that he doesn't have a reference point.
Yeah, but sometimes it's better when the driver gets in the lead because they don't have the car ahead and they can just kind of run through. So it makes their life a little bit easier. And why are we going 3 wide right here with these 3? What is?
Because we're prepping for the Indy 500. That's why we're doing 3 wide starts, because that's just the only way to do a race in the state of Indiana.
I respect it. I respect it. I thought you were getting ready to hit me with some World of Outlaws intro. I didn't know where that was going for.
That is my old commentator, Brandon Kreutz. He actually used to know how to do that very perfectly. I don't even know where to start. I know it's never duplicated, the greatest show on earth, the World of Outlaws. You wanted the best, you got them 3 abreast, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt. I know I'm missing about 1 or 2 lines, but that's close enough for me. I'm not a dirt guy.
Yeah, it's dirt. We need to see more dirt racing.
You wanted the best. You got them 3 abreast. Never.
Often imitated,
never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt. All right, so teamwork makes the dream work. We figured it out.
I had to think on it for a second.
Now we just need a dirt race to cover on the channel so we could actually use that saying in proper context here. But let's see what happens on this, whatever number 3 start we're on here, lap number 47. Barney will get us underway. But for the first time, a different leader being the command car. The number 88 of Joseph Causey will get us going. Green flag in the air.
Yeah, green flag under the way, and look at that. Andrew Dyson, if he's not in the lead, doesn't know how to start a race. Outside line, not good for him there. Look at the background, because there it is. Andrew Dyson, my friend, you are in trouble as he goes high there. But look at
kissing
this,
the fence.
Joseph Causey maybe not having the pace. Kissing the fence, Andrew Dyson is, and he's going to lose more places. Look at this Johan Seminario finding P2 up the inside here. Side by side as they go through. Watch number 17, Arish Shaver. He is hungry. He is hungry. Is he going to take it 3 wide? Is he going to look low? He's not, but still side by side as we go through here. Lap 49, we're about to cross 50 at 250 here, Corey.
Yeah, that number 56, I thought he was going to send it on in there and try to clear himself. He wasn't quite clear enough here. And again, this is a question you have to ask yourself as a racer. How important is this battle at this juncture in the race? Do I want to keep going for it? Do I want to wear these tires in a side-by-side battle? But at the same time, if you back out of it, you might lose 1 spot, you might lose 2, you might lose 3. So Dyson keeping it rolling. Johan really can't back out of it at this point. He can't fall back in line because he has Reese Schaefer right there to his rears, so he's kind of stuck and just doing his best to not wear those tires out to the inside, and we are 50 laps in, 51 to be exact, halfway through stage 1.
Yeah, we're halfway through stage 1, but these drivers do not care.
Caution.
They are not thinking about the stage braking. Oh, what happened there?
Kolmacheski.
Kolmacheski. What happened to Kolmacheski here?
Blue car to the left side of your screen, blue and white. Little contact from Kratky. And you hit that little... You hit the concrete, but these next-gen cars are more or less tanks, unless you hit them in very specific areas. So he should be fine, I would imagine. We'll get a look from his perspective here. He is just... He's going straight, and then all of a sudden, he ain't going straight no more.
Yeah, there's that moment where you're looking behind you and you realize you're supposed to be going the other way, and you kind of wonder what happened. And in that case, it was literally just driving. There was nothing he could have done to avoid that. It's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of frustrating as a driver.
It is indeed here. And again, so something that we do in these leagues on PTRTV is a lot of broadcast channels, and I have full ability to do it. I have full ability to pull up a graphic on the screen at any time that tells you how many cautions there have been. Like on the top where it says SSRL Masters, I can put right there and say this is the 12th caution. This is, but we like to play games on this channel. That's what Andre and I have coined. So because of that, I don't know what caution this is. You don't know what caution this is. This gives us the ability to play that game and make it fun. So I already guessed 10. You kind of grimaced. But we will, towards maybe lap 200, we'll reveal the caution count. And the winner will get a PTRTV digital sticker. Or what's that stupid thing that they do that Tony Stewart did that everybody hated? That what's that, like, virtual... that virtual item thing that somehow has value but really doesn't. What was that? NFT. You'll get a PTRTV NFT if you guess the caution count right.
You know, I grimaced, but it's probably more realistic to 10. I'm not gonna lie, just based on how this race is going. I think we're on 4 right now, and remember we do have one more guaranteed within the first, well, at lap 100. So. I said what, 5? Did I say 5?
You just really grimaced. I don't think you actually gave a number, to be honest. So.
I really should have said 10. If I didn't say a number, I should have said 10 as I'm sitting here thinking about it. But I probably was thinking 5. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that we're probably going to hit 10 by the end of this thing at minimum, if not 15.
Well, and the problem with the next-gen car, so Jordan Sailors is out of the race. The problem with the next-gen car is solely that it is too much of a tank. It doesn't, and this is even akin to real worlds too, where you don't have attrition anymore. You can't just beat the hell out of the car and then, well, crap, the car is destroyed, we're out. You basically can muster this thing around and just do whatever you want with it. And that's how it is in the real world, and it's here in the sim. And we got Chad Kibbe and check. Chad, the shoe, why are you not here, Brosif? But glad to have you in our chat here. He guesses 12, though. He's trying to price his right me and go one up and just doing this, that. But either way, back into the restart flow here. Causey and Dyson once more will lead us down on this upteenth restart.
Yeah, but yet again, it is Causey that is going to have control of the field. So we'll see how Andrew Dyson can make that high side work as we come down around. We're waiting for that Geico restart zone painted on the inside. You'll see it there on the bottom edge of the track. We come around. Come on, Joseph Causey. And here we go. Green, green, green. We're going to be underway. And Joseph Causey takes the jump. And look at that. Johan Seminario gets right along with him there. So Andrew Dyson left to dry on the high side. Johan, you needed to close the door. And he didn't there. He's trying to slide up. He's trying to shut it. I think he shaved.
I think Dyson pulled his finger out of the door jam last second there because he saw what was going to happen. But Dyson had the lullabies playing on that restart because he was caught sleeping there, and Johan definitely took advantage of it. But Dyson trying to yeet it on the high side there, filling the gap if he can, not able to. But Johan, he took advantage of it. He really didn't do anything wrong besides, like I said, maybe kind of forcing Dyson into a spot where he kind of had to clear him, so he had to, back off or wreck. it worked, but I don't know how he'll like it afterwards. But for the time being, move the 56 into P2, Dyson Mac to P3, Schaefer in 4th, and Mr. Admin, or rather Mr. Owner, Dave Fuge currently running in the 5th spot.
Yeah, Dave Fuge there in P5, trying to run the 92 going around. Corey Harville and collecting a few. Why are we still wrecking? Again, why are we still wrecking there? Who is that? The 47? Man. Oh, and another caution lap 60.
I got some ideas that we may have to implement a little bit, but either way, let's see what happened on our good old replay here. Kranborg into the wall, which is okay. And then he kind of doored. Oh, it was Kevin Zosiak. So the 92, the first part of the wreck with Kranborg was of no significance to the end of it. It was actually here in the corner.
Man, that's
Harville kind of had to check up to what he saw in front of him, and Zosiak went to the inside, kind of trying to make a move, and it just did not fly. But because we have run out of rambling space here, and I typically don't interview guys on a short track because it just, you can imagine that it usually does not go very well. We are going to go to a brief commercial break, and we will be back with you for the restart. So please stay with us.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own team.
And we're back here on PTRTV for the restart. We were just told by our admin, Jeffrey Souza, that we would be going to single file restarts, and we were confused at first, but it appears that that has kicked in, trying to get this race trying to get some rhythm and turn some laps here. We do have a long one on our hands, so we want to get this race up and flowing if we can. So single file restarts for the foreseeable future, if not the entirety of the race. I didn't quite get that, but we'll try it once more. There goes the jump to the leader, and we'll try this off into turn number 1 once more.
Yeah, we're back underway here with Joseph Kazi going through, Johan Seminario in P2, Andrew Dyson there in P3, and single file restarts I think may help a little, because I think the issue is these guys are getting side by side, they're getting too racy, and nobody's able to find a flow and a rhythm and keep things going. And in the YouTube chat, Nolan Hodgson said, we ran 113 caution laps in NIS last night. Well, I can tell you, buddy, we're starting to look like we're on the speed for 113 here today as it goes. But single file up for the top 4, 5, 6 cars as we see. But I do see some side-by-side starting to develop as guys try to get some passes done and move things around here. And Corey, What is it that is making it so problematic for these guys to get the rhythm going? Is it genuinely just the side-by-side, or what is it?
Well, this is a track where you can't, this is not a multi-groove track, and now people are going to fight me on this, but this is not a multi-groove track. At least in iRacing, it is not a multi-groove track at all. So the only way to pass here, and this was told as here comes Justin Levine to the inside of Matt Long, and also just in front of him is Ty Ippolito. Really the only way to make a pass here is to manhandle your competition. It's to go for it. It's to make a very aggressive move. You're not gonna just run a different line and get by like you can at even a Bristol. So these guys have to be aggressive if they want to go anywhere. So because you're always on that ragged edge, you're going to be more apt to make mistakes. So it's just kind of a nature of the beast here. And I don't want people to think I'm roasting anything. The track selection, the league, the drivers, it's just the nature of single groove racing. Predominantly, it's the nature of top groove dominant racing. Is the only way to pass is to really, really force the competition.
I am going to fight you on that. I'm going to say in iRacing it's not a multi-groove track, and in Xfinity cars in iRacing it's not a multi-groove track. I think
you said you didn't even know this place till we got here.
Okay, well, I've been Googling during the cautions. I've been looking up highlights. I've been looking up replays. The Truck Series ran here, and their highlight video shows plenty of side-by-side action going on with not a lot of issues.
So this track doesn't have the polish system where in real life the bottom is a little grittier, so the top is more smoothed off, so that will give the bottom a little bit more hope. But even like Bristol, why did they put PJ1 at Bristol? Because it was OP on the top. It was overpowering on the top blade, so they had to give the bottom some grip. Here in real life, you know, they've kind of had to fudge things to make the bottom work a little bit better. But when it's a top-only track, when the top has more banking, it's really hard to make that bottom, you know, viable. It's just kind of a geometry. Geometry. I went to school. It's a geometry problem, and you know, sometimes the faster car will get by. In this case, the 5 of Craneboard got by Ippolito. I think Ippolito may be just trying to mind his P's and Q's here. And then just behind that, Neil Pearson on some fresher tires, mind you, trying to get by Brandon Edstrom here again on that inside, but he has fresher tires, so that may be enough to overcome the distance.
Yeah, he's got to do what he can here. That 19 of Ty Ippolito is looking slow as we go through, and I do think that Brandon Edstrom's going to get held up there on that top line, and there we go, the inside. Pearson will try to clear it through. They thought about taking it 3 wide there. He doesn't, but then it is going to go side by side because, again, Ty Ippolito just doesn't seem to have the pace. He slots in here behind Neil Pearson and wants to try to keep things moving and grooving here. Single file line as we can. Ty Ippolito running 22.4s with a best lap of a 21.6, and I don't think he's been in the pits yet, so that is just on the set of tires he started on. Of course, he does have X amount of caution laps on him, so maybe his tires aren't feeling as much of the race yet as we're lap 76. We're about 24 away from our stage break.
We are indeed here. As Brandon Edstrom now looking to the inside of Ippolito, and he's going to go for the Royal Send It move, and I think Harville is just going to say go. He was already involved in something, doesn't want to be involved in 2 things. But that was a mega dive there from that number 19 and 74 cars to get by. And Neil Pearson all over the back bumper of Craneboard there, trying to make some time up. But we have started to separate here. You can just see throughout the field coming off the corner here. We'll go up to the Barney cam here, and you can see the space that is now finally starting to present itself here as handling coming into play, and driver starting to struggle with the tires. But Kazi holding on to roughly 0.3 of a second over that number 56 of Johan.
Yeah, and I think the thing is Johan Seminario is a very consistent driver. I think Joseph Kazi is a fast driver, but I think Johan is consistent. And sometimes having that consistency can be the key to getting into a fight for the lead. So you'll have to keep your eyes on that gap as it goes. But here it is, the number 29 of Tanner Marty. A little tap in the corner. Ooh, and a tap on the wall on the exit. A little tap of the back bumper in the corner, not necessarily trying to wreck someone, but just a little bit of, hey, you're slowing up, I'm faster, watch out. And then that happens, and he taps the corner on the exit. So we'll keep our eyes on this 29 and 19 battle as it goes.
Makes me go back to my good old days there, seeing tops there. Makes me feel like when I got $3 and I rode my scooter down to the baseball card store to buy that pack of Topps baseball cards there. It takes me back to the good old days, but either way, we got Justin Levine, Matt Long. Again, Levine working his way through the field here. Matt Long, and speaking of getting right to the back bumper, Matt Long within inches of the back bumper of that one car. Thought there was going to be contact, and he's going for that little bit different approach. Levine, again, voluntarily running the middle lane, and Long was trying to run the top and then try to run down the hill, and it sort of worked, but now they're going to be role reversal. Levine going to the top, and 28 trying to fight on the bottom. He's going to try to keep to the door if he can, because if he keeps to the door, he can pull off the slider, but too far back that time by.
Yeah, and there might have been a little bit of wall kind of ping pong back and forth. It was hard to tell from the angle we were at, but if there was anything, then it must not have been much there for Matt Long as we go through. You see the 78 really trying to work that high line, and Justin Levine trying to look there towards the mid-low line, just looking for something. The 28's got pace, though. I mean, this is a very competitive mid-pack here. Stevens,
whoa, that's not a good
trying to run through, and I mean, I can't say a lot. My first official win was 2 laps to go at Boston Motor Speedway in Whelen Modifieds, and I pulled off a bump and
Boston
run,
Motor Speedway? I'm a Massachusetts native. We don't have a track here. South Boston.
Yeah, South Boston. There you go.
Boston Motor Speedway. I'm like, I go to Boston 4 or 5 times a year. I don't recall having a track there, but...
Yeah, they built a 2-mile track in Boston. Don't you know about it?
Yeah, we were supposed to have an IndyCar race back in 2017 until politics got in the way, and then it had to get moved to Watkins Glen. But
yeah,
little tidbits of information why there's too much politics involved, and I don't want to get into that realm here, but we do have somebody on the realm of going a lap down. That is a yellow machine, and that is Casey Ryback. Remember, he was involved in a wreck that stirred Bradley's pot of soup there, and I don't know if the pot has cooled down or not, but either way, Ryback is well off pace here. Chicken noodle or tomato, I don't know what kind it was.
It was probably going to be chicken and dumpling Campbell's soup, honestly, because chicken and dumpling is the way to go. I'm not going to lie to you. If you've never had chicken and dumpling soup from Campbell's, you should get it because it is good. Not as good as my grandma's, but very, very good. And here we go. Justin Levine to the inside, Matt Long to the outside. Who comes out ahead? Who knows? There's a 92 in the mix they got to avoid. Side by side on the exit. Avoid the wall, and there it is, Matt Long. Now you've got the pass done.
I'll give you another one. Sausage, and I'm going to offend every Italian in the world because I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to say gnocchi. Is that what it is?
Yes, that is the proper pronunciation.
The sausage and gnocchi soup there at Olive Garden as the one hits the fence there. That's going to be a bruised piece of breadstick right there. He hits the fence. And that will hopefully not damage the car at all, I would imagine. No, it's kind of a little sissy contact here for what this NextGen can deal with, but that'll put Levine back from 6th to roughly the 9th spot, maybe overcooking those tires as well as we come to 10 to go in the stage.
You know what, YouTube chat? Tell us your favorite soup, because during the break, I want to debate what soup is good and what soup is not.
Andre and myself.
Chowder, I'm going to be upset.
Andre and myself had the best debate last year at a broadcast about the difference between soup and stew. And that ended up leading into a multiply long debate there. And we have another caution. This will be interesting because it's not going to overlap the stage, but it's going to come very, very close to it. Tie up what? And I am trying to dissect a lot of things here, so bear with me on this replay.
I don't like how you said that. I don't like how you said that at all, because I can't see it just like everyone else. Okay, hello, 54.
All right, so let's see that. 46 of Richardson, Ty Ippolito here. 54, yeah, the 54 needed 1-day shipping and only 3-day was available. And then, all right, let's try that one more time, because I'm still trying to swallow that right there.
Okay, so the 54 Jason Kratky just absolutely sends it to the inside, all gas, no brakes, takes out the 19 there of Scott Schroeder. Schroeder comes down and then snaps the rear end.
So there was almost like a karma thing, like you spun me, but then Ippolito spun and he ended up still getting hit after all.
Yeah, like I'm going to tell you right now that was not on purpose. That was indeed just a snap of the rear end of him trying to save the car. There's no way he hit him on purpose. And if he did hit him on purpose, then no, he didn't.
Is chili a soup? So a soup is a liquid base, is liquid based, and a stew is mainly solids that are boiled essentially in just enough liquid so that way the solids are covered. So that's why you have a stew. You have your beef roast, your potatoes, your carrots, all that stuff, and then you put broth in there. So it's basically solids in a liquid, but soup is mainly liquid. So I guess it depends on how well you make this, how well you make the chili. If it's a chunky chili, it's probably a stew.
Well, here's the question: do you put noodles in your chili? Let's ask the controversial.
No, you put
question
Fritos.
Here. No, do you put noodles in your chili? Because that, for me, is the difference
between the soup and the stew. Is a soggy Frito a noodle?
No, not everyone puts Fritos in their chili.
Well, then you're doing it wrong.
You're from the Northeast, right?
Jeff, you love this. Jeffrey Souza in chat. I mean, this is what happens in a broadcast when we have upteenth amount of cautions. Because, and you may be asking as fans here and as viewers, admin, whoever's watching, we have a fair audience here, so thanks, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Why am I not interviewing drivers? And I have learned through 7 years of broadcasting that nothing good comes out of an in-race interview in a caution fest. If I interview the people that wreck, they are mad. If I interview the leaders, they are mad because the race doesn't go green. And if I interview the people in the middle, they're mad at something as well. Everybody is at least some way frustrated. And there are some guys that have the PR hat that can always sound happy when they're not. But not enough of them do, and it's not usually worth the risks to ask. That is my experience.
You know what? I'll give you that one. Also, Kyle, I'm questioning. Nolan says Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a stew. It is not a stew. It is a cereal. You can't classify cereal as a stew. No.
Well, because you're not. So for a stew, you have to cook the item in liquid. So you'd have to, again, we got into what does cooking mean, and it means transforming something, usually by using heat. So theoretically, you can transform it in other means, but again, this is tricky waters that we're swimming on here. But what also is tricky waters is that we have a 4-lap shootout to the stage here with Joseph Causey. Johan is hungry, and then you have Dyson. Remember, him and Seminario had a little frolic on that last caution here. But the green flag in the air, and I tell you, the 56 did a modest job from second spot. I tell you, the leader has a big jump, big advantage on these single file restarts, and we'll see what happens as we race to lap 100.
Okay, here we go. Joseph Causey took off by 0.4 of a second right off the start, but Johan Seminario is quickly closing that back down there and has some good pace. Andrew Dyson there in P3. Reese Schaefer in 4th place, looking good. And the owner, Dave Fugue, in P5. The big boss man running in 5th place. Nice and relaxed through, just trying to survive to the stage break, I believe, and keeping things running. Gets a little high there, and there's Neil Pearson trying to peek up the inside. Possibly a little door tap.
Remember, Pearson's on fresher Goodyears here, so he is in a better position, and we got a battle for second. Johan is under fire from Andrew, and he's going to hit this wall down the straightaway there. That'll slow him up. Not enough to clear. Will Dyson pull off the same car that Johan did and force clear? He's going to caution.
And this will bleed in the stage break. That is the number.
That is Mr. Ippolito. He went with the send it to the inside, cleared himself on Gunningsman, and I'll have to get a top-down perspective if there was contact or if he just got loose.
I don't think there was contact. I think he just was trying to go, and the car said, no, thank you. I choose wall.
It's not Pikachu. Right. I choose you. No, I choose wall. Well, this is going to be the stage break, albeit a lap early, so kudos to, I believe, Mr. Causey for getting that, and everybody will come to the attention of their crew, including Neil Pearson. Just as I say that, Matt Long will stay out. He pitted on the prior caution, so he only has 7 laps on his Goodyear, so that's actually a really good call from his perspective. And just as we say that, Ben Stevens, Cody Richardson, plenty of guys do stay out, and everybody else in the pits getting their first set of first set of Goodyears of the day. I shouldn't say that.
Wait, so Matt Long stays out. Everyone else pit.
Well, I'll pull up the stick graphic.
But we were on lap 99.
Well, So that boils down to it. Mr. Souza is in chat here, so he may be able to let us know. To my knowledge, if the caution comes out during the stage, and you know the caution will engulf the stage lap, I believe the stage is dictated at the lap of caution and not at the lap. So if the caution comes out on 98 and it encompasses lap 100, to my knowledge, the stage ends at 98. But I may be wrong, and if someone in chat can let me know of that, that would be dandy here. Oh god, shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is mashed potatoes, some form of ground beef, corn and cheese, and I do a little bit of gravy on mine.
Okay. Okay.
Kind of like a KFC bowl, more or less.
Okay, so shepherd's pie for me is a base layer of ground beef. If I have it my way and not the missus way, you're gonna put some carrots, some peas, and some sauteed onions in there, diced up. You're gonna do that. You're gonna brown all that together. You're gonna throw some mashed potatoes on top, and then you're gonna top that with some cheese, and then you're gonna go and broil that and melt that cheese right on top. That is the way I do it. I do like gravy on the side. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit of brown gravy on the side doesn't hurt. But some people are weird about gravy with cheese, so they don't do that. But you got to have a little bit of veggies in there.
So is a famous bowl from KFC like a chicken shepherd's pie then?
No, because the thing is you have to have the protein on the bottom in a ground format. If you were doing like a layer of ground chicken, which sounds like something I would feed my cats, and then you were doing the mashed potatoes with cheese on top, then you could say yes. However, because it's the chicken chunks, it's literally you're just skipping the step of eating things separate and putting it all in the same bowl.
But
however, famous bowls are delicious.
But you just mix it together anyways. I mean, do you eat your shepherd's pie in layers? Does anybody have anything in layers? Like if you order a macchiato,
yes.
Is the first thing you do not to stir it up and just make it a regular drink, or do you actually drink in layers?
That's a drink though. That's not food. Shepherd's pie, you eat it in the layers. Are you telling me if you get a nice pecan pie, you're gonna take that and like break it down, or if you get a nice like 7-layer cake, you're gonna take that and like mash that together?
But
into
you
one
just
little cake
you eat the cake, it goes all into your mouth and is chewed all at the same time. You don't eat one part and then the next part. Anyways, you call this restart down. Again, if this racing cleans up, we won't have time to banter, guys. So let's get this race cleaned up and you won't hear our bantering, but take this restart away, whatever your name is.
Whatever my name is gonna call this restart. Matt Long coming around, Ben Stevens and P2, Cody Richardson, Andrew Kotska, Jason Kratke, Kevin Zosiak, Brandon Edstrom, Joseph Causey finds himself in 8th place on the restart, and Matt Long is gonna take off, run away, and try to get things going early, but the fresh tires are gonna keep things around quick, and you can hear the O's and the oohs from Corey in the background as the quote-unquote leaders with the fresh tires are trying to get the run around the inside and go ahead and work their way back up to the front as quickly as possible. Here we go, lap 104, 250, Corey.
You can see on the ticker, I have switched it over so you can see the last pit stop lap of everybody in the field, and up front 13 laps on the tires for our top 6 right now. Causey on the freshest tires, 5 laps, so back there in the 7th spot. So that is not a big variance. So I do not expect him to be slinging cars and getting through the field here, rapid fire. I think he'll still do it one by one on his pure pace. But it's not going to come easy. That pit stop call by those guys to pit on that second to last caution was a great call, but he's going to try to go 2 for 1 here, and I'll tell you at IRP that doesn't work. And
keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. 3 wide. No, hold on to it. You almost had it.
They held on. It was a, and then we wreck after the wreck.
I'm just gonna. All right, Corey, I'm gonna go get a famous bowl. You want anything?
No, because I can't afford KFC anymore. It's just too expensive.
Yeah, me either.
$15 for a 5-piece tender combo. But so this didn't work. We saw this. This didn't work. It didn't work. They were 3 wide, banging off each other here. But then they somehow made it until the last second, and we're gonna go on board with Neil Pearson because I like Neil, and he's a smart guy, and I want to absolve him of fault. I don't want to roast Neil Pearson. I like him, so I want to say that he had nothing he can do here. I want to say that.
Let's see. Okay, react. Not.
He never turned.
On the brakes
so
here.
did he think that he was on the brakes? He was slowing down. I think he was expecting.
And then what happened in front with the 78?
Well, that will be a separate replay, my friend, because I didn't see that initially.
I will say
He got loose by
there.
himself.
Oh, so this is a completely separate wreck.
Yeah,
to
he
the
just
one that
got
caused
loose
the
off
car.
before by himself. Oh, and that's
then-
Crack Key there. So yeah, that's just a complete, yeah, we literally had two entirely separate wrecks at the same time here.
Okay, so here's my analysis, my breakdown of that flying off the rip. Admin, you're in chat. You can tell me if I'm wrong. 62 was on the brakes, tried to go high to the gap, and didn't expect the guys to hold the brakes and stay there and close that gap that he was going for. It's completely separate wreck. I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
So we're going to venture some level of professionalism here, and we're going to go to a driver interview here. Matt Long, Corey in the booth, you got us?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we are just bantering about different kinds of food and what's to stew and not. So we need to get back to the race here. You had a good pit call, and you pit 1 or 2 cautions before the stage. That got you up front with decent tires. How's that number 28 feeling?
Yeah, dude, we got a bad, fast car. Definitely wanted to get some track position and see if we can hold it here. Feeling real good.
All right, so are you worried? I mean, it's only about a 10-lap variance in the tires. Do you think that's enough that it's going to mean anything, or do you think it's going to even out and you'll be able to reset, eventually soon enough?
Nah, if anything, it was like a 3 or 4 green laps on them, and I don't think it's going to make a big deal. So looking good. It was handling well in traffic. I qualified horribly and was able to make some passes back there. So I'd rather just hold them off and not have to pass anyone else.
Yeah, one more question for you. So, of course, being an off-kilter track, it's not a track that's on a schedule that there's a default set for that anybody's going to build sets for intentionally. How much work had to go into this to, learning this place at the high level that you need to for SSRL?
Yeah, I probably put in like 400 or 500 laps this week building this thing. 6 hours, 8 hours or so. So it's feeling good.
All right, well, you got 2 back-to-back tracks next week, because now Motegi got to be in the same boat next week, man. So congrats and on getting that car up front. We'll see if you can hold it there.
All right, thanks, man.
500 laps of practice. So that is a lot of as you said, that's dedication, and it worked. And like you said, he only has a few. It's 8 laps overall. But like he said, only about 3 or 4 of them are under the green flag. So it's going to be basically an even factor. Once Seminario and Dyson get there, they're going to have used up enough of their stuff that I really do think it's basically a flat line between the 2 of them.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's the thing with tires is when the delta between the laps is minimal like that, it doesn't make a difference. But we're going to find out as the race goes on here. Matt Long giving us that in-car interview, and now is going to take us into this race restart lap 113 as we cross the line here. And waiting for him to come around, and there we go. Green, green, green. And Matt Long through. Cody Richardson in second place there trying to have a run. And look back in the inside in the background. It's Andrew Dyson trying to sneak his way back up. He's trying to Dyson his way forward and find his way forward. I was trying to come up with a vacuum joke.
Slicing Dyson.
Yeah.
He's slicing and dicing, and he's in Hoover. Well, no, he's not in Hoover mode. That's a competitor there, but and saying things about sucking may eventually. Well, actually, what is going on with Neil Pearson? He's going Taylor Swift mode. He's got sparks flying here, coming off that number 62. We know he was involved in that wreck, but actually, the front bumper is dangling off of the car and dragging onto the track. I cannot say I've seen that before.
I haven't seen that in iRacing before, or if I have seen it,
so
I'm not aware that I've seen it.
So
That's
literally no, that's friction. He literally has the front end of the car dragging on the track, creating sparks, and that is probably slowing him down because that's just more rolling resistance. That kind of stuff is modeled, so he would either hope that the pit crew would take the bumper off or they would tape it on a little bit better. But again, that's just. And what's it like from the number 74 perspective of Brandon Edstrom there? Yeah, you can just see some random sparks coming off of that number 62. So that is an anomaly that I have never seen before as we're on board Mr. Edstrom there.
Yeah, riding on board with Edstrom here, who is continuing to just run and try to keep Tanner Marty behind and also keep Scott Schroeder behind. Scott Schroeder looking pretty quick, and look at this, Tanner Marty looking the outside line and making the outside work for the pass, which is not something I expected to see, but Brandon Edstrom just not having the pace on that low line, so everyone's just going to run the outside. You need to slot back in, but you don't have room now, don't do it now, and doesn't, thankfully. So there we go, Dave Feud, Mr. Owner on the outside line now, trying to get this pass done. A little bit of side-by-side action. We keep going, and still he doesn't have room to slot in. Brandon Edstrom does not like the low line on this track at all.
Yeah, he does not, and you can see that number 97 still dealing with connectivity issues up in the front of the up in wherever position he is at present. But Matt Long, as we go back to the lead situation, he's up by about a half a second over Richardson, who, and you have to think of what Richardson's been through here tonight. He has been through the ringer. I mean, of the X number of cautions we've had today, I want to say he's probably been in about 30% of them in some capacity. But now that he's, you know, out of the jungle and into the front of the field, you can see here on the laps on the ticker, he's running laps right within thousandths of a second of Matt Long. So that 46 just needed to, you know, think of playing Mario Kart. Once you get 7th through 10th in Mario Kart, you never get to the front. You're stuck with turtle shells and, you know, oil slicks and bombs. But once you get to the front, you can actually kind of race and do your thing. And that's finally what's happened for Richardson.
Well, and I think it's kind of a two-way street with that too. I think part of it is if you're in that mid-pack, you've got a bunch of cars in front, a bunch of cars behind, and you're having to react to so many things at once. It's hard for you to find your groove, your rhythm. You're constantly having to worry, what is the car behind me doing? What is the car ahead of me doing? What do I need to react to? Is there a wreck somewhere I need to look for? Is there somebody going up the inside? Like we see right here, this is the number 14 trying to go up the inside. That's Chad Sanner. We haven't said that name all day. Going around the inside of Brandon Edstrom, if he can make it stick as he's trying to, and there we go, he does up the inside. Somebody making the inside line work for once. Not something I expected to see today. So Brandon Edstrom clearly not happy with the handling of that car and is just dropping. It's like I dropped off my breakfast to, I don't know.
You forgot my Alicia Keys joke that is perfect for this situation, did you not?
I did, but I didn't want to steal your joke.
My Chad Sanner, for some reason, this is like the second or third time. I think he's late to the sessions, and after I load the overlays, because it doesn't populate his information, strangely enough. So I don't know why there, but yeah, the joke would be he is in Alicia Keys mode because he keeps on falling. And that's about as far as it goes. So it's not the best one in the world, but you know, that's what we got here as a mediocre comedian. But here comes Tanner Marty. He is now closing in on the Sparkmobile of Neil Pearson. And again, I'll be very interested to see what they do. I mean, once his pit stop happens, inevitably a couple seconds of damage will be repaired. So you'd have to imagine something will happen to that front bumper, or maybe if he rear ends somebody or just kind of gives someone a nudge, maybe it'll just break off. That's probably the best thing that would happen for him at this point.
I really was expecting Neil Pearson here to just kind of hit that outside wall and just get that front bumper off. Honestly, but then if you do that, you risk knocking your steering out of alignment and a whole mess, but he needs to do something, or maybe it's just on our side we see it, and maybe he doesn't actually have any issues with it. So I don't know what his plan is there. I'm really curious to see. Andrew Kotska here in P3 with his teammate Cody Richardson in P2, and I think they are just kind of settling in for the long haul here. We finally have a run going, and I know I just jinxed it, but you know what? We finally have a run going, and these guys are just all hanging out a little bit, keeping things running. Matt Long up in P1 just trying to hold on, and man, these guys really love that backstretch wall. How many times have I seen them hit that wall? Somebody buy it flowers, please.
And I see you here being an instigator in our YouTube chat here of various food-related debates here. So I'm waiting for the next caution flag to air myself into that realm here, because you've got a couple that have stirred my interest here. Predominantly, like I said, hot dog is a sandwich, in my opinion. But that is because... Actually, no, a hot dog is not a sandwich. A hot dog is a taco. A taco is a hot dog, because you have to figure a hot dog is a piece of bread that's not broken in half, and a taco is not two pieces, it's one piece. So therefore a hot dog is a taco. And then a Subway sandwich is a taco.
How many times have you ate a hot dog in the bread split? Be honest with me. How many times you made a hot dog in the bread split?
Depends on the quality of the bread. If you get the great value bread, 100%. If you get the actual Wonder Bread or the ballpark ones, about 10. So if you're getting the 99-cent bread off the, the value rack, then that's on you, Brosa. But if there's one thing I'm picky about my buns, man. I want some high-quality buns on my meals. But Dave Fuge to the inside, door tapping with Tanner Marty there. That's just good old short track racing. Someone in chat said earlier I should ask Dave how he plans on staying in the top 5. Well, evidently there were no plans for that because now he's in 9th. And but still showing a good run and a lot of time to be had left in this race as we are in the second half of it. Unbeknownst to anything that we were saying, we are in the second half of this race, and I can say with my live timer here, if we do finish green, that's what the big if, but if we do, this race estimated another 40 some odd minutes of action left.
Yeah, plenty of action to go, and the thing is, this is the fun about these longer races. You're going to have moments of just pure action and chaos. You're going to have moments where things get real slow and kind of calm, and then you're going to have things kind of heat up again, and I think this is the case of we're on a long run now. We're on I think this is the longest green flag run we've had so far.
By far. Well, we don't even need the context to get facts. We can just feel it. We are here as Joseph Causey. Yeah, and he's been struggling getting through the field here. Actually, he had an extended pit stop. I'm not sure what happened here, but I could pull up the pit stop graphic. His last time in the pits was 28 seconds, so I'm not sure what that is, what caused that, but he is well off where I believe he should be. No, he pitted early. He pitted 24 laps ago. The closest other driver pitted 35 laps ago. So he is slightly off strategy in that number 88 car. Maybe he's prepping for a run to the end, but I don't think he'd be able to go that far. But again, what do I know?
He's got at least one more pit stop.
Yeah, I think everybody does. Oh, battle for second. Richardson under fire from Mr. Dyson, and that fire is quickly put out because Dyson will get into that spot. And now Dyson has 2 seconds to eat up to get to the back bumper of that number 28, and here comes Johan going 2 for 1 here, so Richardson loses 2 spots in and amongst 1 lap around. And now we're getting some more stuff here saying that you're a bad griller if you have split buns. Do you grill your hot dog buns? I do not. I toast my burger buns. I do not toast my hot dog buns. I have them au naturel, steamed if anything.
Why would you? Do you grill your hot dogs?
I grill my hot dog, but I don't grill the hot dog buns because
but you don't take the time to.
If I grill the hot dog buns, they become too fragile, in my opinion. So, and there's also 2 kinds of hot dogs. There's like the hot dog buns that are, basically little mini loaves, and then there's the ones like I think they're the New England hot dogs. They actually are that are kind of, cut on each side, so it's mainly like bread. More or less a slice of bread. So it all depends on your type of hot dog bun too. But either way, I do not toast them.
Okay, so first of all, a hot dog is not a taco because a hot dog bun requires yeast it's a bread. It is not a tortilla. It is not a
Subway bread is
soft
cake.
shell, hard shell. What?
Subway bread in France is actually legally cake, as a matter of fact. If you look at the sugar content, Subway bread, by definition in France, Subway bread is cake.
Okay, but that's France. France does weird stuff. It's France. I don't. Yeah, they behead their queens for fun.
Things that are well beyond my global world culture knowledge here, but Justin Levine is right to the back bumper of Andrew Kotska. He is trying to get by the next 2 because these next 2 in front of him are on slightly older tires here, so he's trying to close in and get to the back bumper of Schaefer, who's in 4th. That would be the next driver on that same strategy. But now, as I'm showing up front, Dyson is not really eating into the gap that Long has created. Well, actually, I'll take that back temporarily because Long is now stuck in traffic, getting by Harville and now getting by Kranborg. He's going to have to force himself onto the inside lane there. So that will slow him up a little bit. That gap went down about a 1/10 or 2, but it's not gargantuan amounts. Dyson is not taking out huge chunks here, which again, that goes to what Long was saying. Those tires, he really thought they were going to even out, and it seems as which they are.
Yeah, and it kind of doesn't surprise me here either to see it. Look at that. That is going to be Mr. Justin Levine trying to look up the inside of Kotzka as we go through. And again, this race is going to ebb, it's going to flow, it's going to develop, and traffic is going to start to play a part of it because short track racing and long green flag runs, it tends to mix like that. So don't be surprised if you see that start to play more of a lap. But again, now as Andrew Dyson hits the traffic, you're going to start seeing that gap open up a bit more to Matt Long, and Johan Seminario really needs to put the pedal down. But I think everyone, as we've hit this long green flag run, is really settled in. And I'm curious to see what, if anything, really will trigger some action through. And also, how do you cook your steaks?
Depends what season it is. If it's summer, it's on a grill of some sort. If it's in the winter, it's either on the George Foreman or cast iron.
Okay, what temperature? What degree of cook do you do? Are you?
I shoot for medium, but I am not a steak cook in any means. So I basically cook it to whatever it comes out as when it's on the plate. But I shoot for medium.
Okay, I can get with a medium. That's perfectly acceptable. Okay, good answer.
Yeah, you're not getting the meme well done response out of me. Believe me, I've watched enough TikTok videos to know how kitchens feel about that, and I've worked in a kitchen before, so we know how that feels at a in-depth scale here. But here comes again Levine trying to get by Kotzka here, and you can just see the level of separation. Now Levine is 5 seconds off, and he is wiggling, wobbling, squiggling, squabbling there through the center of 3 and 4, and he went from right on the back bumper to having to recover, and now he's a second back off of the bumper of that 47 car.
Yeah, look at this, because he was right on the rear bumper, and I mean, look at that.
Oh, wait,
and it was
hold
just
on.
Snapped loose.
Now,
how did he save that?
Now, if you remember there, Bradley, our e-car race the other day, we saw a situation where there was front to rear contact, and the rear car was the one that got loose from it. I think that may have been what happened here.
Yeah, I do think that's what happened, but look at the hands for Justin Levine saving that car. I mean, that's a good save. Justin Levine, you get the save of the day on that one.
Yeah, there is you won't be able to hear the audio of this because it won't transmit, but for the fans at home, we're going to give him the Save of the Race award.
How did you save that car? Well, I'm just so daggone good.
So I call that the Ricky Rudd Great Save of the Race award because in 2001, which is probably before half this field was born, because if you're born in 2001, you were now 23 years old, which mind blown on that. 2001 Chevy Monte Carlo 400, Ricky Rudd versus Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick absolutely got mutilated by Ricky Rudd. No, vice versa. Ricky Rudd got basically turned by Kevin Harvick. He should have wrecked, and magically he saved the car. He got back to Harvick's bumper and sent him and won the race. And when in victory lane, they asked him, Ricky Rudd, how did you save that car? And because you didn't get to hear it, he said, well, I'm just that dagnam good. So anytime someone saves the car, we just give them the Ricky Rudd of the Race award. So that goes to Justin Levine because that was a great bit of driving. And unfortunately for him, he probably made those tires big mad. And because of that, I don't know if he's going to be able to get back. But bringing up another thing here on the evening, we'll bring up our stints one more time. And you can see 62 laps, 54 laps, and 43 laps in the case of Causey. We are still at 100 laps to go, so there's gonna be a pit stop before this race is over. We also don't know the fuel load here. I guessed 90 laps, so if you want to throw that in there, let's say maybe 180, 190. But that window is going to vary quite heavily as to when these guys would make that last stop, and you want to wait as long as possible because nobody wants to make a green flag pit stop on a short track unless they absolutely have no choice.
Yeah, and here's the worst part about it. As soon as we start seeing green flag stops, we're going to see a caution. Something's going to come up and cause a caution. So just keep your eyes glued. If you need something to eat, something to drink, this is probably the time to go get it because action is going to start very quickly. I don't think we're that far off from people starting to roll the dice on green flag stops. things have settled down so much. I don't know what to do. We went opposites. We went from caution laps after caution laps, and now it's just everything spread out.
Yeah, and that was the goal of the single file starts. But what we can do is just go a little bit of a through the field and let you know where your favorite driver may be running. Running in P1, we got Matthew Long, started 16th and all the way up to the lead on that strategy call, but he's had the car to hold it. Andrew Dyson currently running in second, our pole sitter, but one spot back. Johan Seminario, he's third. He's my pick of the race, but he's just a tick off what I think he's going to need to win the race. Maybe he'll find it in the last segment. Reese Schaefer, a good run for him, running in the fourth spot. We got Cody Richardson running in fifth. Andrew Kotska in sixth. Our Save of the Race award, Justin Levine, he is in seventh. Joseph Causey, he led a bunch of laps, but he's relegated down to eighth. Neil Pearson with the dragging front bumper. This is a good shot of that. He is in ninth, and then our top 10 is our league owner, Mr. Dave Fuge.
Yeah, right from that. P11 is currently Mr. Chad Gunsman, who's had a couple moments. You can see the beat up on the side of that car. P12, Tanner Marty running around that number 29, sporting the car that is representing baseball. Brandon Edstrom. P13 there, running pretty consistent.
He is the last on the lead lap. This is Chad Sanner, Captain Blake. This is not Chad's fault. It's an overlay glitch because I think he joined the session late. But this is Chad Sanner in 14th.
From there, it's going to be Scott Schroeder in P15 there, running the nice blue livery. Thomas Komasecki in P16. Komacheski, there we go.
Use our accent there.
Ty Polito, P17. You can see the beat up on the left-hand side of that car, too. He's had a race. P18, Travis Krimborg, and that number 5 who was trying to run through. And then P19, Casey Ryback. P20 is going to be the number 37 there, Kevin Zosiak.
And then rounding out our field, we got Corey Harville in 21st, Jason Kratke in 22nd, Ben Stevens and Jordan Sailors are the only two currently off circuit right now. But as we go back and check out things towards the front of the field, I said I didn't know if Levine was going to have enough tire left after that wreck, after that little faux pas, and he just did it times 2. And just as I say that, the caution. Tanner Marty, he made sure everyone was clear, so he did do that. And this may be interesting on the fuel loads, but it'll negate our green flag strategy. And let's try to scope out what may have happened to Mr. number 29.
Yeah, let's see here. He's midline. He's running through. And do the tires just give up? Tires just give up. And then it's a checkup behind. Not a lot you could do there, honestly.
Yeah, he just waited and luckily evaded. He was predictable enough that guys knew where he was going to go there. But guys will be coming to the pits here. I can see Dyson, I can see Schaefer, Seminario. I wouldn't imagine he'd stay out here. That would just be a silly call to stay out now. Not to be offensive to anybody who did stay out, but I think it's kind of silly.
Yeah, no, there's no reason anyone should
Cody Richardson stayed out, perhaps to lead a lap, but came to the pit. No, and if he wanted to lead a lap, it didn't work. But he will come in after all.
Yeah, the only reason you wouldn't pit right there is if you just want to avoid the pit lane chaos.
Wait, will he lead the lap? I think he still led the lap because his pit stall was after the start-finish line. Yeah, he led a lap.
Yeah, there we go.
So for whatever significance that may or may not have, he has gotten himself in that boat. But Matt Long is now on the same strategy as everybody else. So that is something of note. So we'll see how this works out with a fresh set of tires on everybody. I believe we'll still be having the sequence of single file restarts here. And I'm just trying to scroll through our chat here. A1 sauce, again, Dale Jr., he wants A1 sauce. And it doesn't matter if it's a Wagyu or what's that one from Japan? Isn't there like a Japanese, or is that Wagyu?
It's Wagyu, yeah.
Yeah, even the fanciest steak there. I mean, I like A1. I think it's a little overpowering, but a well-seasoned steak, a little bit of Montreal, or just plain salt and pepper, it's fine enough with me. When my kids want ketchup on steak, I do internally vomit, but they're also 5 and 3. So
What about ketchup on eggs? Scrambled eggs with ketchup?
I've become more of that fan base lately. Or like just ketchup on a breakfast sandwich. I scoffed at it for years. I tried it and I said, you know what? It's fair. I can deal with this. But sriracha would be my go-to on eggs. Although my stomach would not agree with that.
Or some Texas Pete.
Texas. Is that
Hot sauce.
Yeah, regular hot sauce. Tabasco or Great Value hot sauce tends to be the pick in my refrigerator here. Monster Man Gaming here in chat. Good evening. Well, thank you for tuning in here to this race. Right around lap 230 or so, we will unveil our caution count here. I guessed 10. For anybody who may be watching that has the data up, don't spoil it for us. Anybody who's in sim watching, don't spoil it for us. But I guess 10. I almost guarantee we're already eclipsed that. So put your guesses in chat. I think Bradley went with 12, I want to say. But let's see what it will be. We got another restart. Barney got a little bit of a break here, so this shouldn't be too painful for him to have to wave this flag here. Lap 169 soon to go on the boards. Green flag in the air through the restart zone, and the single file field will snake through the first corner.
Yeah, everybody's single file through, but you can already see people trying to take advantage of that inside line early on there in the top 10. I believe that is Cody Richardson, Brandon Edstrom that we're looking at there in the top 10 that are trying to have a run here. SSRL Master Series keeping things moving here in the middle of the pack, and there it is. It is indeed going to be Cody Richardson, Brandon Edstrom side by side as they run down here through the field. And who comes out ahead? It's hard to tell because some people have found the low line to work, some people found the high line to work. In this moment, it doesn't matter because it's a caution. Why are we still wrecking?
That one was later than my DoorDash when I forgot to tip. Yeah, that wreck was late. So let's see what happened with Dave. Oh, it was Gunningsman again. That is his. And then the 54.
And then just, I mean,
he saw the car parked on the wall like that. I want to give people benefit of the doubt, but we saw the car parked on the wall and he never got off the wall. And yeah, he just got, it looked like he blew a rear tire, which we know isn't the case. Dave kind of got stuck here, but here is.
Yeah, there was nothing Dave could do in that situation.
We always give benefit of the doubt if we can. This is Cracky. He was in the wall. He literally never pulled it off the wall once there.
Yeah, but by the time he was even in the wall, the caution was out.
And we're not trying to make enemies here. We just, we call what we see. If it makes enemies, then, so be it. But,
listen, drivers, my DMs are open on Discord. It's okay. You may message me.
And everybody knows that I just roast anyways. I create enemies. That's just what I do, and for some reason, that's what gets me rehired, because people know that I'm not going to be frilly around the edges. I'm not going to say that everybody is dandy and everything is perfect. I'm not a Coke announcer. I'm not going to tell you that the worst race in the world is still amazing esports. Yay! If it sucks, it sucks. I mean, and Dave told me to call it as such. That's what we do with this. That's what we do here on the channel. We get a scope of how the league wants the races to be called. If you want them to be frilled and yuppie and professional, well, you got the wrong channel. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to call what we see and try to be entertaining, still be mostly professional, and try to wrap it up into a pretty package here. So I think we're doing a decent job of that today.
I mean, it's a case of there's no sense on a broadcast of trying to be nice and pretty and preppy about it. Obviously, we're not going to use any sort of obscene language, but if a driver does something absolutely crazy, then we're going to call it. And if you don't know that about PTRTV, I can give you several clips and several other broadcasts of where me and Corey have done such a thing and called it as we see it, because that's the thing. We're here to entertain. We're not. I think any good broadcaster should do that. I think it is a case of any good commentator, broadcaster should call things out and call out the egregious wrongs that drivers do. Because the thing is, otherwise your fan base doesn't learn. If there's someone who's watching this for the first time, they might think this is okay.
And we call, to be honest, we'll roast the league too. And I mean, Dave knows, and I have a really good working relationship with Dave. If he makes a call that or even admin, they make a call that I don't like, I mean, I'm not going to say the admin is stupid, but I will kind of pinpoint that, yeah, I don't know why we're doing this, but okay. Yeah, I kind of lost my tangent of that, but green flag is in the air. Oh, I do have, if we do have another caution, I have another conversation I would like to bring up pertaining to food.
Okay.
And Nolan Hodgson in chat, I hate you, Corey. Well, reciprocated, buddy. Reciprocated. You ain't getting a Christmas card from me. You're getting a flaming sack of poop to your front door with that comment right there. And you'll like it. Get off my channel. But either way, I jokes, I think. But here we come into the pits is the pace car. Matt Long to the outside. We got the snake on the wall here. That sounds pretty scary if you saw that at your house, if you saw a snake on the wall. But we get snakes on the wall here. Barney's going to wave it, and we're going to go racing for the probably 25th restart of the night.
Yeah, Matt Long takes off very well. Starting lap 176 at 250. We're 2/3 of the way through this race, if I can do math, which I probably can't because it's too late in the night. But as we go here off the backstretch, you can see some side-by-side action here in the mid-backfield. But for the most part, up front, it is nothing too crazy going on. Look at that, Joseph Kazi trying to have a run here. This is that beautiful car of the number 74. We've seen him several times tonight trying to run the high side. Look at this 2x2 in the background. There in the back, guys. Let's keep our heads on. Let's keep things going, please.
Chad Santer really slow on the exit of 2 there. That opened up the outside lane for Kazi, for Ippolito, for Kramerborg. Kramerborg, he has been through the ringer and back today, and he's still 3 laps down, but he's in this little pack of vehicles there. They're going to be 3 wide. That is not a recommended circumstance here at IRP. They will sort that out. Up front, you have, again, this is the first time that Long has been in the lead on completely even playing fields compared to the competitors strategy-wise. Dyson is on 13 lap tires, as well as Long, as well as Seminario, Schaefer, and the like. Justin Levine, he is taking a peek to, he's taking a leak. Maybe he is. That's what race drivers do in long races. He's taking a peek to the inside of Reese Schaefer, falls back in line. He's going to go a little bit higher. Got milk. Joke aside.
We got a caution.
Yeah, can't even. Luckily, I had nowhere to go with that joke. I had nowhere to go with it, which worked out because the caution interrupted it. And I also have absolutely no triggers as to what that caution was. So, oh, I found it. Mr. Zodiac. And this one was not our fault because he was not on screen or being discussed.
Kevin Zodiac, what did you do this time?
He done got loose. He went for the drift. And it hooked.
Oh.
Gunnigsman lost his front bumper. And I think he hit the incident cap there because he either towed immediately or he hit the incident cap here. So under another caution. So now we're gonna rapid fire, okay? The context is name your favorite. Piece together your ideal fast food meal. It has to be a drive-through. It has to be a chain. It can't be Susie's restaurant next to the barber up around the corner from your house.
Okay.
Fast food burger.
Fast food burger, McDonald's, McDouble.
Fast food fries.
Fast food fries, that is going to be Arby's curly fries.
Fast food nuggets.
Fast food nuggets, Wendy's nuggets.
Fast food dessert / milkshake.
I don't know if this isn't a national chain, but you go to Cookout and you get a double chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, it's enough of a chain for Southerners. The only one I veto. Wait, so your overall best burger is a McDonald's McDouble?
If you're saying it has to be a fast food chain, I'm going to go for a McDonald's double.
No price.
Okay, no price?
Yes. Yes,
I'm still going to go for a
price.
McDonald's double.
Wow.
No pickle.
No pickles. All right, we're brothers, and I just met you about 3 weeks ago.
It's been longer than 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 months maybe. Yeah, I've gotten the hang of pickles lately, but the only one I veto you on, well, I like a McDouble, but I would put a Baconator on top of that personally. But
see, maybe it's just an issue with Wendy's around here. I tend to not like Wendy's burgers as much. There's something about it that I just don't like. The only Wendy's burger I liked is when they had the nacho burgers, the nacho cheeseburgers, what they call it?
Yeah, they have like nacho bread.
Burger. Yeah, they did. No, the cheesy cheddar burger. It was a single where it was literally just a bun, a patty, the cheese sauce that they put on the potatoes, shredded cheese, and then a square of cheese, and then the top bun.
The Wendy's nuggets, though, are you talking about spicy or are you talking about regular?
No, I'm talking just regular. My stomach does not do spicy.
I mean, because I took the cheat there and I said KFC. Chick-fil-A's nuggets aren't crunchy enough, but KFC...
Chick-fil-A isn't good, period. Controversial.
Oh, that one's going to get you roasted. I agree with you. I don't see it. It's just a cult. People just say they want it because they want it. I mean, I'm not waiting in a 45-minute drive-through line and making somebody sit outside and with a tablet when it's pouring out because I want a chicken sandwich that's been sitting in a warmer for 10 minutes. But that's just me. Now, back to the action here, because we are on one to go. The chat can go nuts with that. We did have a few pit stops here, so you could see Causey. He has pitted 11 laps ago, so he is there. But you can see Chad Sanner in 11th. He is the first person who pitted there. So if anybody can make some progress, potentially it could be him because he does have fresher tires. And we still predict probably, that is our level of confidence, but we predict that there probably will be one more stop by these guys at some juncture in the race. But let's try the restart once more, and big jump by Long. Probably pulls up by 4/10 right off the get-go over Dyson.
Yeah, Matt Long left that restart pretty late, I'm not going to lie. Andrew Dyson's through, Johan Seminario coming around, just trying to hold on to P2 and get the chase down here. It's single file for a large amount of the pack, but you can see, especially here back behind this number 47, that is going to be Andrew Kotzka. You can see the mix here of Cody Richardson, Brandon Edstrom, and Joseph Causey that are starting to kind of peek around each other. And look at this, Brandon Edstrom looking up the inside, and that was the 92 of Corey Harville I saw down on the low side. I don't know if he was involved in that or not, though.
Dave is in the pits here. Now, Corey Harville is out of the race in some capacity. Just trying to find out something here. I don't really have any good causes on this. I mean, I'm just going to let you see what I'm seeing here. I scrolled back quite a ways, and I'm not seeing anything here. So my trigger system that I have is not showing me anything either. So we're just going to throw this as a phantom caution because I don't. Again, you're watching what I'm watching, and that was the trigger. I know you said perhaps Harville. Yeah, I'm not getting any triggers on that, and I couldn't see anything overly obvious, so...
Hey, admin, if you're still in YouTube chat, tell me what started that, please. Or were you all just being polite?
Yeah, the last official trigger I have, because our software does kind of give little cues of, hey, this probably happened on this lap. And the last one of those was on lap 121, so... I'm usually pretty good about being able to go through the timing screen and figure out what happened. But in this instance, I clearly was not good at it. And there's nobody with serious damage there. I mean, Dave Fuge did pit, but I scrolled back quite a ways. And
he's back in the pits again.
All right. Now, just because I want to find this out, I'm just going to go back a little bit further and see if I can find something with Dave. No? I can't.
I think my burger option made YouTube quiet because nobody in chat has said anything.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a McDouble, but if that's like your voluntary choice of I want the best fast food burger I can get right now and I'm going to get a McDouble, that's just...
Oh, I didn't say it was the best. I just...
11 spun off of... Casey Ryback spun off of the 69. I'm getting a cue from admin here, so thank you for that little tidbit of information. And it's just, at this point, it's a little bit too far back in the replay history to find, and I don't want to bother everybody with a splash screen while I search for it, but he did get auto DQ'd right after because there is an incident cap here in play within the series, and at this point a lot of guys are probably biting their P's and Q's on that because it is, I'm looking here, you get a warning at 9, a drive-through penalty at 13, and a stop and go at 21, and then at no, stop and go at 17. So 9 is a warning, 13 is a drive-through, 17 is a stop and go, 21 is the boot. And he hit the boot. He was the weakest link. goodbye.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate too if you hit that, especially 190 laps into a 250 lap race, and then you hit the incident cap. That's ouch. That's a bad day, and you got to think these guys have been racing since 9 o'clock, and we're going on 11 p.m. almost here on the Eastern Seaboard, as I am at, and I believe you are at as well. And I believe several people in this league are at, except for our resident Australians who are through. So, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. Pace car's in. Corey, why don't you take this race restart? We're getting ready to hit lap 192 at 250, and the snakes are coming around the wall.
Yep. We don't have any windows, but they are to the wall and coming off of turn number 4. Again, the restart usually is very advantageous for the leader on these single file formations, but Dyson, he was ready that time. Well, I thought he was, but he's still 0.3 of a second back. Heading off into the first corner, you can see a little bit of side-by-side and back Causey down to the inside, trying to make something happen here. He pitted 2 cautions ago, so he does have slightly better tires. I don't know if that's going to be enough to slice and dice through the field, but he's sure going to try.
Yeah, he's giving it his best shot through there on the inside. He's going to try to slide up here. Is Joseph Causey. He wants to make that move. He needs to split the teammates here, and really the 47 needs to be helping out his teammate back in the background there, and he's not. Nah, you're not clear. Don't slide up yet. But you can see he really, really wants to get back up in line if he can and try to get single file again. Or he needs to clear the 47. You've got 2 options, move up or move forward, and it looks like he is going to pick the move forward option here. Look at that side-by-side going through, and here's the 17 pit stop TV car that is getting slow with Schaefer because Justin Levine is trying to make some moves here up into the front. Justin Levine sitting P5 in a very advantageous position. Might be trying to move his way forward more if he can.
That's a thank you for that piece of information there, Reese. I did not feel that was his information. I was going to call him Jose Gonzalez, but we now know he is Reese Schaefer, so we do appreciate that little tidbit of information. But as I thought that the 88 wasn't going to be able to slice and dice on 8-lap fresher tires, well, he clearly never mind.
And who was that in the background spinning?
That's
that is
Edstrom.
The 74. Is this just a rear tire bust grip on your own?
So
save it.
Part of this track, again, I talk about the dynamic, not the dynamic banking, because if the banking changed per lap, that would actually be kind of interesting. The progressive banking here, when you are exiting the corner down low, you essentially are going up 2 or 3 levels of banking. So it seems as if he crossed a seam there, and when he crossed the seam onto that higher level of banking, it looked as though it de-wedged the car and spun him out there. At least that makes me sound more smart to say that.
It makes you sound more smart.
And that was the most intelligent English that I've ever used, so.
I respect it. We're almost down to 50 to go, Corey. So here's the question for you. We're on another caution. I'm saying 3 more cautions to the end.
Well, remember, we do have 3 green white checkers available, as somebody is getting a free pass of sorts, and that is one of the billboard cars. It's going to be Ty Ippolito. He is going to get back onto the lead lap. 15 cars being on the lead lap. Thomas Komacheski would be the next one in that position there, but I'm debating on an interview right now. Do you think these guys are in a good enough mood that...
It's 50-50.
All right. You know what we'll do? He said we could do this.
Yeah. If a driver said we could do it,
Hey,
do
Jeff.
Hey, how we doing, Cody?
We're sick of talking about food, so you've been watching this from the admin booth. What's your perspective like tonight? Whether good or bad?
It's definitely been an interesting race. I think me and Adam in the booth both hoped that this would be a little bit cleaner of a race with, about 18 cars less than what we've had for the majority of the field so far. But, it sucks that we haven't been able to use double file restarts for the majority of it here, but, it's just some guys overdriving what they have, either getting loose on entry and collecting others, or just drifting up too much when they got someone on their outside. So we're gonna get 50 to go here. Hopefully we can go green to the end. If we do, I think you could see some decent racing would fall off, but if we don't, then we probably still see some interesting racing either way.
Yeah, and just because you have a little bit more of the driver knowledge, what would be a fuel run here? I don't think we're going to have to worry about it, but just for the sake of us knowing, what was the fuel run here?
Based on my little black box here, I want to say it was about 80 to 85. So you were pretty much dead on when you said 90. So
yeah, so right now, and if you think about that, 50 laps to go, so Matt Long would be exactly at 85 to finish. Of course, the cautions would help him out, but there will not be much fuel in these cars, predominantly if we do have a green-white checker. But that is one to go. I'll just let you go back to your admin duties. Just wanted to have a quick word and not rant about food.
10-4. Hopefully this one gets interesting for the people that are watching still.
All right. Hopefully your job is easy up there, man. Good luck.
10-4. Thank you.
I gotta wonder. In terms of the single file, double file, why don't we take it back double file with 50 to go here?
Sometimes in the racing world, you have to protect the drivers from themselves, and I have a big hunch that that's probably what it is. Because if you unleash the beast, they gonna go for it. And I think at this point they've gotten used to this, so it may not be the worst thing in the world to keep it going. Causey looking to the inside of Levine, and again that's trying to get himself into the 5th spot, and he'll fall back into line here. And again, this is almost like a, just go with me on this, it's almost like a plate track, not in the sense of drafting, not in the sense of speed, but in the sense of having to plan your move out. If you're a Dyson here, you can't just go to the inside, because if you leave a gap open to the outside, you have Johan, you have Reese, you have Causey that are going to fill the gaps in. So you really have to be smart with your move, because if you make the wrong one, it very well could backfire on you. As Johan within inches of Dyson, we already saw that once today.
Yeah, Johan really wants to make this pass work, and look at him. He's going to slide to the inside. He's got just a bumper ahead. Can he hold on to it, though? And look at the 17 of Reese Schaefer thinking about a move, too. But everybody slots back in single file, but Johan has to know that he's got to let Dyson know he's there, and he needs to make something stick, but he's also trying to protect from Schaefer. So many different things going on right now that they're all trying to make work as we continue on lap 204 here. Look at that. Now Reese Schaefer is looking at the high line, looking at something different, anything he can do to try to make a pass happen here. Joseph Causey will just slide up the inside, and there we go. Come on, Johan. You can make it stick to the inside, or at least he thinks he can, but he doesn't have the tires under him to make it stick.
Well, he does have tires under him, otherwise that car would be on the rim, so.
Yeah, you know.
It's better to be a wise ass than a dumbass. So, but yeah, he's on the equal tires, but he needs a little bit newer tires, a little bit more grip to make that inside lane work. And the person who has that grip is the number 88 of Joseph Causey. He is the one that Johan.
Oh, we're not. Oh, okay. Nope.
It's because I picked him, and he is going to yell at me for that. Once he watched this broadcast over again, he's going to say, "Why did you pick me?" And he's going to say, "Never again." And then he's going to punch me. He's going to punch me all the way from Peru up to Massachusetts. But you did that yourself. You got loose, and he probably had a chance to save that.
Who else was spinning there?
Yeah, I did see there at the back of the shot. We'll try to go 2 for 1 there, but this is from the view of Mr. Causey here, who slightly was the Causey of this. Slightly.
Yeah, Causey's there.
Yeah.
Johan hits that seam.
I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he would have saved that. Now we'll keep the Barney cam up for a little bit, because I do think, like you said, in the back of the shot, we did see something here.
I think it was the 47 just after the Barney cam. Honestly, I think if you have a turn 1 cam,
yeah, you at that. See, I got some pretty strong glasses here, but. Oh, Richardson
he got hit by his teammate.
Richardson just pile drove the back of the number 47 there. Again, just reactions to cautions are not. The reactions to caution flags tonight is not at an A+ level. I think we could all say that nicely.
Yeah, it's. And the thing is, like, I understand from a driver's point of view, you've got to react, but one of the things that I'm gonna go to my F1 roots here. Caution, caution, keep your delta positive. You have to slow down to a set point in a lot of road series. Like in NASCAR, you have to slow down when the caution flag comes out too. You can't just keep the pedal to the metal and keep driving until you hit the pace car. You're expected to slow down to a safe speed where you can react. And then when you get to the pace car, you come down to pace car speed. So I just don't know where that disconnect is for some of these guys tonight, because that's not the first incidents we've seen of wrecks after the caution.
And not just after the caution, you know, a second, like they're 5 to 7 seconds after the caution and we're having contact. And that's unlike these guys. But again, we talked earlier in the event that this is kind of an off the wall event, in the sense of this is not a NASCAR track. This is not a track where setups are going to be readily available. They're going to have to be made on the fly. Practice laps are be fully voluntary, because this is not a track that you can use officials to help you. Next week will be of the same nature. We head to Twin Ring Motegi, or I think it's called Mobility Resort Motegi, I think they call it these days. 1.5 mile track that looks kind of like a gateway on steroids. That's more or less what that track is next week. So that's a track that they raced at in 1997 and 1998. It was a Japan exhibition race that the NASCAR Winston Cup Series ran. They ran it in like December. They got about 20 guys to run it, and then some Japan specialists, they would come in and find some rides to run. So it does have Cup experience in that context, but it's not a track that these guys will go to on a regular basis. Therefore, we'll see who definitely does the preparation. So that'll be next week, and then the following week we will be at a more traditional track, of which that will be Talladega on April 20th. So that is the month of April, and it will conclude with Dover being the final race of the month. But we are now on 1 to green once more. Right around 2:30, we will put the caution, we will cure the caution debate. So if you want to get in our caution game, I've already lost. I said 10. I don't know what it is, but I know it's more than 10. So if you want to win that fictitious prize, put your caution guesses in chat here, and we will solve that mystery in just a little bit of time. But coming through the restart zone, coming through 3 and 4 here, snaking against the wall, Matt Long. He's been in front for the last half of this race, and he's going to try to seal the deal here. Green flag back in the air.
Yeah, green flag back through starting lap 212, or 213 to 250, and look at that. There's already carnage back in the mid-pack. I was going to say Andrew Dyson needs to vacuum his way forward to Matt Long, but back in the mid-pack, I mean, these guys are already going 2 wide. I thought I saw some 3 wide showing up, but it seems like they might have settled it down there after turn 1 and 2, and as I say that, I still see 2x2 coming around. Guys bumping and banging there in the mid-pack. I think that was
there we go.
Johan. Yeah, Johan's in the mix, and then the Tops car was in the mix. I can't remember who that is. I think it's Tanner Marty
It
was
is
there.
Tanner Marty, yep.
See, I'm learning the drivers after 200 laps.
Oh, yeah, they were playing patty cake there, and eventually patty cake went astray, and it turned into a fight.
Bump.
Bump.
Back down, bump. See, Marty jumping down like that is my problem. I think the little bit of side-by-side bump there between Johan and Marty off the corner exit,
That's short track racing. That's my Joey Logano
but you
impression.
don't come down half a straightaway on a guy.
Yeah, that was the part of... all right, he's in the fence here. Now, let's just go on board. That's the easiest way to figure this out. Did he bound off the wall uncontrollably is my question.
No. I don't think that was an uncontrollable bounce.
One way to find out. He did not turn the wheel left. He didn't turn the wheel right, but he also did not turn the wheel left.
Oh, is that live?
That was the end of the replay.
Okay, I was going to say, if that's happening now...
I cut live before I went to the splash screen there, but they can't see. The track is very dark, and that goes back to my terrible annoyance. So, Corey's rant of the race here. I used to have this is called the Silva sound off. iRacing's lighting engine is terrible. It is still dated back to like 2008, and they've updated it to the best of their abilities, but the lighting engine is still archaic, and that's why tracks don't have night lighting until basically you rant and make them do it, because the night lighting system is so manual and time intensive. But if you look here on the back straightaway, there is no lights. So the track does get noticeably darker, which I guess it would be minimally, but watch this. Watch what happens when they get to turn number 3 right here. All of a sudden, you're just going to see the light turn on abruptly. Right there. It's like literally you turned a light on, because that was like it hit. He drove out of the darkness range and directly into the, oh, lights work at this point on the track. And it looks stupid. Yes, I know I'm a detail full about it. I mean, you can tell me that's the stupidest rant ever, but Jeffrey kind of instigated it in chat.
I mean, I was just making sure. I didn't want to.
Watch, right here, watch. It's light,
Yeah,
it's light, it's light. Watch it just flick dark randomly.
Now here's the question, though. Is that a setting? Is that a
No, that's
thing?
it's just the way the lighting system works, because the lighting only reaches a certain point, and it doesn't like transition. It doesn't fade. It just on off. And you can see here as they come through 3 and 4, it's just on off, on off.
See, I've never noticed that in my sim. So
this is a very weird track with that, because of how the lighting is, just just how the lighting is. I've never really seen it anywhere else. It is the stupidest rant ever, but that's what happens when we have probably, I mean, this is not my official guess. I know my official guess is wrong, but I'm gonna say 19. Maybe that's high. 16. And I said lap 230, we will end that debate.
You know, Corey, what would solve all of this is a dual PC setup running 4080 Supers with 4K 144 FPS streaming.
If PTRTV wants to charge race bot prices, we will certainly do that. But I have a feeling they don't want to pay those. But coming off of the corner here for the umpteenth millionth time, Matt Long, he's led probably at least 100 laps today, and he's going to try to lead 30 more here coming through for the restart into turns number 1 and 2. Dyson, he led the opening stages and hasn't been able to come back through the field. But look at Joseph Causey to the inside of Edstrom. How Edstrom's in 4th right now, I have absolutely no idea. He's been through the ringer and back. He is in the top 5, and I think a little bit of contact there between himself and Causey, but they keep themselves righted.
Yeah, watch Levine and Ippolito and Schaefer there in the background.
Look at
Again,
the
more
send
contact there.
Yeah, he sent it on him there. That's how you have to pass. Like I said, that's how you have to pass here. You have to manhandle your way, and you're going to make enemies in doing so.
Yeah, if you're not used to short track racing like that, it's kind of jarring. But most short tracks, you're gonna have to be a little brave and a little bold. You do not come out of that track, out of that race with a clean body panel. And if you do, then you're probably finishing last place, or your engine blew up somewhere, because that's just how you have to run. We're watching here Reese Schaefer under pressure by Ty Ippolito, who's trying to make a move up, because Justin Levine finally found his way forward, and you can see more action in the background there, as it does look like just action everywhere here. We're 223 of 250. We're coming up on the 25 to go, and I tell you what, the drivers know they're near the end of the race, and they're starting to turn up the pressure.
Leaders had to get by, that was Tanner Marty there, that kind of bogged the leaders down, having to run the inside. May have, we have Kotska in the pits there. He was off the pace, but that will explain why. That little endeavor by Tanner Marty, I thought that was going to give Dyson a chance, but it did not. Going a little bit further back, you have Neil Pearson. Again, I said he was the comeback kid, and look at, they fixed his bumper. It is not dragging anymore, and that has given him some newly found speed that he had in the opening stages of the race. But Causey on those slightly fresher tires, actually more than slightly, well, whatever he had fresher on the tires is now gone. But
man, he saved it.
But I'll look at if you pull up the stints right here, Matt Long 60 laps, Dyson 60 laps, Pearson 54. He has some slightly better tires. Brandon Edstrom, well, we asked how he got up front. Well, look at, he has some fresh tires, very fresh tires. And we lost track of, with all the cautions, how many guys that may still have tires. A little contact from Levine to Edstrom there. Remember, these guys had 4 sets in the pits. Believe me, there's no way for us to know definitively who has what, who used what when. But I'm assuming Edstrom may have stayed out and kept some fresh tires on the wall, changed them late there, as he is really trying to pinch Levine down there very, very low on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to hold a car low there. And he's trying hard to make that line work. You can see mid-corner he's losing it, but on exit he's able to get back up side by side. He just needs to find a way to set Levine off and get Levine back behind him here. Again, side by side, but as we exit 2, it's still, they're both a little wiggly. And now the 17 of Reese Schaefer is coming up in the mix as well. And then from there, Joseph Kazi, the kid who's gonna, oh boy.
Nearly contact there, if not contact between the two of them. That sent Edstrom all the way out there into no man's land, allows Schaefer to get by Kazi. Remember, he just had his little slideways endeavor. He's trying to recover from it, and he's still slideways, rocking the apron, and just trying to make something happen, but not able to do so. But if you look at the ticker, never mind, because I'm waiting for a wreck. They're trying to wreck, but luckily they haven't managed to do so here. A little bit further back, you got Johan on trying to make some headway towards at least a decent position on the evening, getting by Kalmacheski there, closing in on R. Scott Schroeder. We haven't talked about him in, well, ever, but he's still in the top 10, and Johan trying to knock him out of it.
Yeah, Johan is really, really trying to put some effort in to get things moving and move up and recover from that incident earlier, and we're still waiting to see what happens here. We're coming in 20 laps to go now.
Take our bets. It's past 2:30. Take our bets. So we guessed 10. We're wrong. I'm going to say 17.
I'm telling you 14.
All right. I think it's the race recap graphic. I said 17, so Price is Right style, I overbid by 1. We have 16 cautions, and the fastest lap of the race is actually going to be Andrew Kotska at a 21:3.86. Now, we can play one more game if you'd like. How many laps has Mr. Matt Long led? Now, you remember, he took the lead right before the stage on a caution sequence, and I don't think he's given it back yet. So I'm going to say, as he crosses the stripe now, I'm going to say 134. I'm going to go very, very definitive there.
I'm going to say 95.
All right. Do you want to make it 96 or not? Still 95?
Nah, 95.
Survey says I overbid again. By 1. I went with the math and the science, and I lost by 1 here. And I'll tell you, this is why we don't interview people at short tracks, because I don't think Johan Seminario is a happy camper right now, and really pushing to the rear bumper there of him there was Edstrom there upon that pass. Just as we said, you basically have to pass dirty to pass here, and naturally doing that creates enemies, and you just have to hope that everybody wakes up tomorrow and says, hey, that's just the nature of IRP. And you have to hope that there's no rivals and enemies that will carry over to Motegi next week.
Yeah, I will go ahead and tell you right now that Motegi will be spicy based on the way this race has gone. Somebody's going to be thinking of this race next week, and something's going to carry over. What it will be, I don't know.
Well, will it be spicy because it's Asian food? Or just spicy because of drama? And what is Japanese food, actually? I mean, we have Chinese food. I mean, sushi's Japanese, right? Or is that Chinese? I don't know.
No, sushi is Japanese, ramen's Japanese, that sort of setup.
And green tea, I think green tea is Japanese. All right, so we got enough base. That could be a dinner right there. So ramen, sushi, and a cup of green tea there. So that we'll have that to open our broadcast with next week. But coming towards 10 laps to go, very nearly getting there. We'll bring up our battle tracker here upon Andrew Dyson. Last time by, nearly 0.2 of a second faster. So that is something that, if that trend continues, it would give us a whale of a battle for the race lead. But as another lap eclipses, well, that didn't sustain, because you could see about a 0.5 in the bucket there for Matt Long. And it does appear that he is starting to slip back, is Dyson.
Well, the issue is both of these guys are on, 70-something old lap tires at this point, so yep. I'm not expecting a lot to come out of these two. Honestly, the ones that I'm going to be watching is Justin Levine and Neil Pearson. Those two are going to be the ones that I keep my eyes on, because I'm expecting, if they still have any tire left under that car that is going to have some grip and some pace, I'm expecting them to be on the attack. But, I mean, look at that. It's not there. The pace isn't there.
Yeah, it's just a smidgen, only about a 10, so the only thing that would happen would be a caution flag, and I mean, I would be very hard-pressed to believe that after 16 cautions, that anybody has any tires left on the wall. I mean, this league by nature is all about saving a set of tires, having a strategy set. But we've had so many pit stops that I really find it hard to believe, but I have to imagine somebody saved a green white checker set, because you have to realize, as we pull up our best last time graphic, that a 21.4, so he is 0.6 of a second off his best run. So you would imagine if he put some freshies on that thing, he'd go 0.6 of a second faster. So if somebody in this race has that set of tires on the wall for a potential green white checker, that could be the winning call. That could spoil things here, but that's a very, very conditional statement, and we have to get the caution for that to even come into play. And if we're going to have a caution, it's probably going to come right about right here. This is the tightest action on the racetrack.
Yeah, this is Scott Schroeder here trying to battle it out with Ty Ippolito, and as they go through, look at that. Schroeder is sliding up the track, trying to pinch Ippolito to the high line, which is not what you normally see. I mean, he's trying, he's giving it his best effort, and doing actually a fairly good job. There it is. Now he's going to slot back in high and hold on to that as we come out. Did he maybe slide a little too high and get into the wall? Switchback coming around 3 wide, I believe, as we go into 3, and they settle things out there, and it is Ty Ippolito who finds the lead through, and Thomas Kolbaszewski will find his way forward.
Our Scott Schroeder, he'll be the one. We were talking about him trying to hang on to the top 10. Well, now he is back to the 12th spot, so that did not work out for him. Edstrom and Richardson. Again, Richardson hit everything but the lottery here today, but somehow still has himself in the 8th spot, but that may be 9th if Edstrom can find his way by here. Coming off the corner, coming into 5 laps to go. Our race leader starting to stretch the legs out on Andrew Dyson. That they're of about 0.6 of a second and running just a couple thousandths of a second faster per lap here. Just going a little bit further back, you got Ty Ippolito and Kolbaszewski battling for that top 10 position, and just fighting on the inside is that number 69 car with, you know, just doing the best he can on old tires on a hot, slick track. And you have Kranborg there just ahead of him. And another battle may be forming between Schaefer and Levine, but still a car length or 2 separating as they click down here. Just 3 laps to go at IRP.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. Plenty of action left to settle things out, but it really is the Matt Long show for the final 3 laps. And if something happens and changes that, Matt Long, I didn't say a word, but Matt Long very comfortable and consistent all the way through to the end of this race. And across the line, 2 laps to go. Barney, you might only have a couple more flags to wave, my friend, as we keep things going here. It is single file up through the top 5. Justin Levine still stuck there in 5th place. You can see he's trying to close things up, but just too little too late. Not enough time left to go. P6 and 7 there, separated by a couple seconds off, and then it's a few more seconds back through. And as we come around, Corey, white flag is in the air. 1 lap to go.
250 laps here, about to be cemented at Lucas Oil Raceway IRP. Matthew Long did not have the starting spot that he desired, all the way back there in the mid-teens. He used pit strategy and the stage to flip himself to the front of the field, and once he got there, he never looked back. Andrew Dyson had a fast car from the pole, but it's not going to be fast enough. The number 28 of Matt Long victorious here at IRP.
Yeah, and back in the background, Reese Schaefer was trying to make a move on Neil Pearson, and right at the end, it looked like he may, a couple more laps, he could have had a shot, but just not enough time there. But Matt Long, very good run. Andrew Dyson, P2, and then there's Reese Schaefer going off, the 4th place driver running through, and Matt Long is going to come around and take some donuts, I believe.
Yeah, as the fireworks and such will display in the air here to celebrate a victory by that number 28, dominating fashion. Again, if he qualified better, he may have led all the laps here on the evening with the way that 28 car held the front pace here tonight. But he's going to go do a little burnout there on the front straightaway in congratulatory manner and celebrating his success. And he put in approximately 400 to 500 laps of practice for this race that he said, so well deserving for him indeed. But while he goes on and does that, we are going to go down trackside and give you the final rundown of results here today from IRP. with that race victory by a final margin of 0.3 of a second. Matt Long over Andrew Dyson. It's going to be an Aussie 2 and 3 with Neil Pearson in third. You got Reese Schaefer in fourth, Justin Levine in fifth, Joseph Causey in sixth, Johan Seminario in seventh, Richardson, Edstrom, and Kalmacheski rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, from P11, it's going to be Ty Ippolito, Scott Schroeder there, Chad Sanner in P13, Chad Gunningsman in P14. He had a very up and down race. Tanner Marty in 15th. The owner, Dave Fugue Jr., again, a driver that was up in the top 5 and found himself in kind of an unfortunate position, finishes P16. Travis Krimborg in P17. Andrew Kotska in 18th place, again, a driver that ran the top 5 for a while. Jason Kratky in 19th, and Corey Harville in P20.
And then just rounding out our field here today, and don't ask me on the mathematics of these intervals because I don't quite understand that, but Stevens in 21st with Sailors in 22nd. Actually, I know why, because they were DQ'd. Ryback and Zodiac out on the DQ limit, so they were DQ'd back to the far end of the field, and Adam Glatfelter was one of our race admins. So I usually always take the winner, but I already spoke to him today, so just for the sake of variance there, I will give Bradley, I will give you our winner here on the evening, Mr. Matt Long.
Matt Long, good evening. We talked to you during one of our mini cautions tonight, but you managed to keep it ahead of the field and find the win. How you feel this evening?
Dude, feeling awesome. Hell yeah, that was an amazing race. Yeah, I didn't lie to you guys, man. Car was bad fast. I just botched it in qualifying and just needed some track position. And yeah, luckily we got that caution right before the stage, and we took advantage of it, and never looked back, man. That thing was on rails.
Yeah, Matt, looking at your performance, you know, the difference between qualifying and the race was night and day. As a driver, what do you do whenever you have a bad qualifying to try to make it up in the race? Is it just adjust your mindset, the strategy? What did you do that you were able to get your way back forward there?
Yeah, good question. I definitely, it's a mindset thing, man. You can't win the race in those first 50 laps. And I mean, I even dropped back a couple spots right off the start. Just try to pick my places and keep it clean, Don't put my car in bad spots, and slowly but surely we worked up in the top 10. Just trust the car, and we got up front when we needed to. But yeah, it's just keeping your head under you and not ruin the car in the first 50 laps.
Yeah, and then Matt, looking ahead, next week it's Twin Ring Motegi, another unique track that you don't really see a lot of NASCAR races at. What's going to be your plan for prepping for that? You seem to handle this track well, and this isn't a traditional racetrack for these cars. Or you think you're going to bid the same next week?
Yeah, I don't even own that track. I've never been on it, so I think it's a longer track, and
Gateway on steroids, basically.
Gateway on steroids, so probably a little more aero than this place. But I say that because when the NextGen came out, me and my buddy, my teammate, we hopped on it and we really learned the ins and outs of these cars and got real into the telemetry and everything. So I'm pretty confident with going to new places like that and hopefully bringing a little something special. So I got to get some laps there. Never ran it, but looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, Matt, and I look forward to seeing you there in a week's time. I appreciate it, and congrats on the win.
I just want to say thanks to y'all for putting on a show, and Dave for running the league, and call up to my teammates Dyson and Pearson, 1, 2, 3, baby, and Bobby's there watching. So y'all have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
You too, man. All right, yeah.
All right, Corey.
I didn't even notice that. It was a Dirty South 1, 2, 3. We didn't even call that out, but it was, again, a team 1, 2, 3. But Andrew, you had the car. You started on the pole, and you had pace that I would say you probably could have held off if you got in front of Matt, but this place just being so impossible to pass is you couldn't figure it out, man. What did you need something in the car, or is it just kind of the nature of the track you couldn't get by?
Probably a bit of both. I mean, we were on the same tire, same setup as well, same tire length stint, and same setup, so I wasn't really going to be able to do anything. And yeah, you can try runs and try use a front tire, try use a rear tire, but you burn your stuff up trying to make a move. You're more reliant on just pressuring the car in front and wondering if they're going to make a mistake. And being Matt, I was sort of hoping he wouldn't, and he didn't. So good on him.
And then you have these races like this. I think the final tally was 16 cautions, and you know, with the limited fuel, we had 4 sets of tires. How difficult is it as a driver / crew chief to make those calls on when to take those Goodyears, knowing that we only have such a limited supply of them?
Oh, it's really tough, man. Like, especially if you're up the front, like you pretty much saw during that race. A lot of cars behind you are going to do the opposite to whatever you do. So if you pit in, it's likely a lot of cars behind you are going to stay up. A lot of cars are going to go in. So it really feels like a bit of a lottery, but I mean, you just got to take into account how many laps to go. Take an educated guess how many cautions you think you'll have, and just see what happens.
And it works out for you. You got P2, and as we said to Matt, who, as we have now learned, does not even own next week's track at, I think it's Mobility Resort Motegi, if I get the branding right. First off, do you own the circuit? And second of all, do you have any confidence heading there next week?
I do own the circuit. I've raced on the road circuit there quite a bit, but I have actually done a fixed league Xfinity race, B-class race around there once before, and it was pretty fun. I did pretty well, so certainly an interesting track, very unique as far as all the oval circuits on the iRacing service go. So might throw up some strange results, but I don't know, without being rude, I really think you'll probably see the usual faces working it out and getting up there.
Well, I'm sure you'll give Matt some tips, but just not give him enough. That way maybe you could flip-flop him next week. But congrats on a solid run, and we'll go talk to your teammate as a 1-2-3 team run here tonight.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for the broadcast, and thanks everyone at SSRL for putting on the league. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you.
And now P3, we have the fellow Aussie and P3 Dirty South teammate, Neil Pearson.
Neil Pearson started third, finished third. Dirty South Racing 1-2-3. Tell me how you feeling.
Pretty good. It was good. It was a roller coaster of a race for me. With like 80 to go, I was actually ready to throw in the towel because I went a lap down. But I came back in third.
Yeah, and you know, as a driver, you know, at one point you're a lap down, things are looking bleak, and then you find it back up into third place. What's your advice? Kind of, what do you do when you're that lap down and things are starting to look a little rough to make sure you don't throw in the towel and keep things going?
Basically, Matt spent forever working on a setup, you know, which is really, really good. And I just thought, you know, it's due diligence on the team, and you know, it's also myself. I don't like to give up, you know, so you just don't know where the race is going to go. And, you know, I got the lap back pretty quickly because there was a lot of cautions. And then I was just, I worked my way up to about 6th or something. And then everyone in front of me pitted, and track position was king here. So
well, this is Bradley's interview, but I got to interject something here. Did you know that your front bumper was dragging for like 100 laps? And did you notice any of that in the car?
Yes, because it was slow. I actually thought I had engine damage in that middle stint of the race, and I was like, well, this is done. And when I went lap down, it was because I was actually repairing the damage, and I just mistimed the safety car coming through, and he went past. I'm like, oh, I might as well just take all the damage now, and got the car back to none. And the revs were saying, you know, 2,000 strong. So I thought, okay, car's good to go, and let's go and see where we can make it.
I was gonna ask about that front bumper because it really, really confused me. And also, I'm gonna ask you, because you are down in Australia, is ping ever an issue for you?
Sometimes it can be, more so at restrictor plate. I don't really enjoy those. It's a lot harder to push. I've noticed there's a difference between the American servers and the Australian servers, but just general racing, not really. Sometimes there can be a little netcode stuff going on, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Awesome. Neil, it's a 1-2-3 for the team. It's a good team result, good race result for you. Anyone you want to shout out or thank before we let you go for the night?
Mainly just Matt for that setup. It was really good. SSRL for the league, you guys for the broadcasts, and my teammates, you know, 1-2-3. That's pretty good. Pretty killer.
Yeah, absolutely. So appreciate it, Neil. And we'll see you next week at Japan for Twin Wing Motegi.
Sounds fun.
All right, Corey. Well, I tell you what, I think that's been a good little race. Honestly, IRP showed up and showed out.
Yeah, it did. 16 cautions. bunch of interesting conversations, and I want to thank our chat for making that fun with our mid-race food debates as the race had its interesting stages here. But make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We will be back on Tuesday for the American Muscle Series, round number 10 at a track that I do not remember off the top of my head. And then we'll be back Wednesday for the SSRL Truck Series at a track that I don't remember off the top of my head. And then we'll be back on Thursday for another race with the Red Sox Racing League at a track that I don't remember off the top of my head, because that's just a lot of stuff to remember. But either way, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned for all the action. Corey and Bradley signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.